All right, we are live. We're talking about something interesting today that maybe is foreign to you because I'll be honest, it was foreign to me just till I'm kind of learning about it now. And it sheds some light on how accurate some of our history might be. I mean, I don't know for sure, but in 2nd Esdras here, right on your screen, verse 36. I'm going to read a few verses. The lake of torment will appear, and across from it will be the place of rest. Hell's furnace will be displayed, and across from it the delightful paradise. Then the Most High will speak to the nations that have been raised. Look and understand Look and understand whom it is you have denied, whom you haven't served, and whose ordinances you have despised. Look to one side and the other. Here is delight and rest, and over there are fire and torments. He will say these things to them on the judgment day. So I have Tommy Skyview with me, and we were just kind of talking a little bit before we came on about have we been so I don't want to call it deceived even, but maybe taught wrong, or and I'm not talking about just a few people. I'm talking about our entire civilization, our entire society, with time and generations going by. It's almost as if the scriptures, there's a time, like God created the sun, moon, and stars, and everything. It appears that everything under the sun, moon, and stars is subject to time, but above it is something different. It's something like the heavenly realm. It's something different. It doesn't have time the way that we do here because we have this sky. The sky is a clock. So, what does this mean when it says the lake of torment will appear, and across from it will be the place of rest?
Right.
What do you think that's? I mean,
the pit of torment shall appear, and opposite it shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of hell shall be disclosed. So that, to me, that sounds like that's something being revealed when people are alive on the earth.
Yep, being revealed to the people living on the earth.
Exactly.
And it says,
what it sounds like.
It also said, it kind of verifies that, because it said, he will say these things to them on the judgment day.
Right.
And so then it says a day that has no sun, moon, or stars. So if we're seeing these things, and people are like, we don't see a lake of torment across from the place of rest, and I would argue that if we kind of talk about what each one of those things is, and talk about their placement, you might come to a different conclusion about what we do see. Do we see the lake of torment, and do we see delightful paradise? Well, I think what is the lake of torment? Hell's furnace. It's
to be the lake of fire, right?
Yeah, and I would argue that is also called in the book of Enoch, that it's called the abyss of fire.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of heaven and earth. So, okay, in the Bible, I don't remember which book, people were swallowed up by the earth and they went down to Sheol. Like in the earth. Okay. This is something that, like, for the longest time I wondered, why did Jesus descend into the heart of the earth for 3 days? I don't understand what needed to happen, and I still probably don't understand it. But one thing I do understand about him descending into hell is that Enoch prophesied that these fallen angels, we'll look at that right now, these fallen angels that came down and took human wives, and they were going to be disciplined, or whatever you want to call it. So in Enoch chapter 10, I'll just read a few verses starting in verse 8. And the whole earth
All right.
has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against another, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. So this is like a judgment on the offspring of the joining of angels and human women.
Right.
Like their offspring. This is like a judgment on them, that they would have to basically fight against each other. And then it says, verse 10, and no request that they, their fathers, make of these shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf, for they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, go bind Simyaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, so that was part of the judgment, is that they were going to have to witness their offspring, who they loved. I mean, just I can only imagine that they loved their children like anybody else would love their children. I don't know.
That would be the days of Noah, right?
Yes, yeah, in those days, and then they would basically kill each other, and it says, and they have seen so when they've seen their sons slain one another, and they've seen their destruction, then it says, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth. Okay, so they were definitely in the earth. Like this I know, because it says it here. I don't know if it says it clearly anywhere else, but this 70 generations just kind of sat there without any meaning to me for a long time. And then one day I got on Google and I said, how many generations were between Adam and Jesus? And
Right.
it said 77 generations. And so I'm not trying to debate whether it's 76 or 77 or what. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't think you'll really truly know that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to study it out either. The point
I
of the point that I am making is that in this book and in the book of Jude, it says that Enoch is the 7th generation from Adam.
Yep.
So it just so happens that 70 generations from when Enoch was writing this was the generation that Jesus was born in Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth was born. And then he was crucified on a cross, and he descended into hell for 3 days. What do you think he did there? Well, it says in this next verse, look at this. It says, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of their judgment and of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. So the 70 generations was a judgment, but then there's a judgment after that. And it says, in those days, they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. Okay. So who's going to lead them there, I wonder? Maybe the Son of God.
For sure.
So that's what happened in my mind. That's what happened. And
I think
actually
he's the only one with the power to do that.
And it's written that he did that in the book of Adam, first book of Adam and Eve.
Oh yeah.
Where it says, where it was actually him prophesying about himself, because Adam was begging to go back into the place of rest because he was in this terrible place, and the Word of God, who I know is Jesus, he said to Adam, he said, you can't come back into the place of rest until this judgment or whatever, and he says, not until the day that I shed my blood in Golgotha. So in the book of Adam and Eve, the Christ crucified is prophesied. And
Maybe
it said when he said, when I will descend into hell and break the bars of brass and destroy the kingdoms of iron. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could see how this millennial reign thing could be something that we aren't thinking about clearly. We're not thinking about it right.
for
because
sure. Yeah.
because in a way, here's what something that I put in a chat yesterday somewhere. Jesus is the King of Heaven. He's
Yep.
the King of New Jerusalem.
He's
The
already
King.
he's already reigning up there.
He already
Been reigning.
he already resurrected, like Adam and Eve, like Adam who he was talking to when he made this prophecy. He already took those souls from Sheol, where they were resting or whatever, where maybe Abraham's bosom, I don't really know. But Sheol is not in the earth. Jesus conquered hell and death, and he has the keys. So the reason why I think this is important is because what is Second Ezra saying that we were just looking at? The lake of torment will appear, like you were saying, it'll be disclosed,
Right.
and it's across from paradise. Where's okay? So we have the lake of fire or hell's furnace, whatever, lake of torment, and then we have the place of rest or paradise, the delightful paradise. So I think we all know what the lake of fire would be, and a lot of us previously or even still think, well, that's in the earth, that's in the heart of the earth, right? That was like such old news, like 2,000 years ago. That was beginning to be old news. Isn't that weird to think that, like, that we've been thinking this way, and maybe we've been wrong about it? I think we have been wrong about it, but paradise is a heavenly place. It's in heaven. It's
sure.
it's the holy city, New Jerusalem, Mount Zion. It's up in the sky. It's his holy mountain, his temple, sanctuary, tabernacle. So many different names for this paradise, his garden. So many names. So we know what that is. That's the place. That's the promised land. It was an inheritance that Abraham was in search of.
So okay, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So that is the land that Abraham was looking for.
Yeah, and that land has foundations, and the builder and maker is God. So wherever Abraham grew up, I can tell you right now that it was not a place with foundations, and it was not built and made by God. I think that this idea of
That sounds like a globe.
yeah, the idea of the solar system and the globe, because it's something that people see in the sky, they automatically make it mean something about the earth. You know, like, here's an example. The stars rotate, so that means the earth is rotating. When it's really just the stars rotating. The earth isn't doing anything. But we've been taught, we've been conditioned, we've been brainwashed to think a certain way. So hell being across from paradise, well, if we were to look, let's just do directions like up, down, left, right. If we were going to look to paradise, like, and point at it, where would we point? We'd point up in the sky, right?
Right.
If we were going to point to the solar system, or what we've been taught is the solar system, if we're going to point at the planets and going around the sun, where would we point? We'd point up in the sky, right?
Yep.
The difference between the two places is like the fixed stars. That's like the kingdom of God in heaven. Those are angels, and they're flying around God's throne. They're circling his throne. That's what it says in Enoch 71. All the angels, they're circling his throne. And then we have these 7 oddballs that actually in Enoch chapter 18, let me just show you so you know that it's not something that I'm just saying. It's actually in the book of Enoch. It clearly says that there's 7 transgressing stars that are imprisoned. So, and this is at the end of heaven and earth too. This is the abyss of fire, you guys. Right here, verse 11, I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. And among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure alike toward the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss, I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. And there was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. I saw their 7 stars, like great burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, place is the end of heaven and earth. So at the end of heaven and earth, there's an abyss. Okay, keep that in mind. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire. Hold on a minute. Let me just show you something. Enoch is no dummy.
No.
Let me just read that last phrase real quick. Do you guys see what's on my screen here? So, you see that, right? That's the solar system. And the stars which roll over the fire. The 7. There's 7 of them, you guys. This can't be coincidence. 7 stars rolling over a fire. It says these are the ones they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising. So it's talking about their courses. And we have the fixed stars and the 7 planets. The 7 planets do something different than the fixed stars. So when I look up now, I see an abyss of darkness that we call space or a solar system, where everything is perpetually falling. Opakin says Pleiades. Pleiades is part of the fixed stars. It moves with all the other stars. It circles God's throne. So anyway, these 7 stars are in a prison. Okay, and look, I just got to show you this. That someone, and I would suggest that it's the Son of God, someone had the task of joining together these 7 stars and the fallen angels and locking them up in a prison.
Right.
And I just think it was Jesus did that when he was crucified, and he went into the heart of the earth and he took care of business down there. He resurrected the saints and they went up into New Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
And then the next chapter it says, and Uriel said to me, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women. That's who we were just reading about. That would be in the earth for 70 generations, but then they'd be let off to the abyss of fire. So they're in the same prison as the planets. The 7 wandering stars, the transgressing stars.
Enoch 10, yep.
Yep. And then like the book of Jude, it says, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
It even calls them out, wandering stars. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. And the blackness of darkness forever is a very simple thing. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
That word deep is abyss too. It's crazy.
Yeah, that word is abyss. Yep. Deep sea or an abyss. So the deep is up in the sky above the earth beneath God's feet. The deep.
Yep.
So there's let me just show you an image. There's big errors in this common image that we see all the time. Yeah. And I'm not saying that anybody's trying to do anything wrong. When you see this image, let's go to this one, I guess. Water's above the firmament, and then there's the sky, the sun, and the moon. I don't know what they got going on there. But downward, so I don't really think that's right either. The sun and moon and stars aren't in the atmosphere.
I don't think so.
They're in the firmament. God set them in the firmament. But, okay, where it says the foundations of the earth here, and it shows these, like, tooth roots or whatever. That's nowhere in the Bible, by the way.
No.
The foundations of the earth, according to the book of Enoch, God furnished the entire creation with the 4 winds, and those are the foundations of the earth. The 4 winds.
For sure.
And it says in, let's look at it just so I'm not just saying this stuff. It was in the chapter we were just in. It says in verse 2.
I think that's why those 4 winds in Revelation are mentioned like that.
Yep, because they're going to cause destruction. It's
There
given
you
to
go.
them to hurt
Yep. Hurt
the
the earth.
earth. Yeah. So verse 2 here in chapter 18 says, "And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven." Okay, the pillars of the earth are the four winds. The pillars
Right.
of the heaven are the four winds of heaven. Look what he says here in verse 4. "I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting." So the winds of heaven are helping, or they're going along with the sun, moon, and stars. That sounds to me like an ether, like a
They're churning. They're
yeah, they're
churning.
turning.
Yep.
Yep, totally. And so when we look up, we see a solar system, which is an abyss of darkness. And somehow people think that space exploration is a good thing. I'd have to say you're joining the wrong team for Armageddon. Like get
ain't
off of
lying.
that team. Join the team that believes in God's throne and that believes paradise is there, because paradise is there, and right across from it is hell's
Well,
fire.
what did Jesus say? Joey said, "Where your heart." How do you say that? Where your heart will be. Set your mind on, like he's kind of
Things
talking about
above.
on how. Yeah, and then he said if that's where your mind be, then that's where your heart will be. Like if your mind is set on the heaven, like God's throne, where God's at, then that's where your heart is. But if your mind is set on space,
Yeah. Well, oh, you just reminded me of another of Enoch 45, man. It's so important that people like some people don't like the book of Enoch, but it's filled with information. Look at this.
you ain't lying.
Look at this parable. It says, "And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of Spirits." They deny the name of heaven. They deny heaven. Okay? How many people in a flat earth, globe earth debate deny heaven? Well, it depends on how many are on the globe side fighting. Like, if you
I think
believe in a
it's
globe, you believe in space and orbits and a universe of space where men can go. But if you
right.
believe the Bible, you don't believe that.
No,
I mean, you might believe that and say you believe the Bible, but that's not
there
what
you
the
go.
Bible says. The Bible
Yeah,
says what it says. Like
that's
people
right.
say, well, God could make a big bang. What are you limiting God for? I'm like, I'm not limiting God. I believe him.
You're
I
going
just
by what
believe
he
him.
said. Yep.
Yeah, he said how he made it.
Yep.
I'm getting that sound a little bit, but
Are you
look what it
going over?
says here. It says, "And into heaven they shall not ascend, and on earth they shall not come. Such shall be the lot of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are thus preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation." So every day of your life, you have God up in the sky looking down on you, and you have Jesus knocking on the door all the time. And if you hear his voice and open the door, he'll come into you and change your life. But every day, there's this opportunity, and the people who don't trust that that's an opportunity, it's calling them sinners. It's calling them preserved for the day of suffering because they don't call on God. I think it even says that somewhere. It says because they didn't believe in the Lord for their helper, like he would be their help. And they just didn't believe that. And I'm like, man, he helped me.
You ain't lying.
And look, this even mentions flat earth, by the way, in this same chapter in Enoch. "Then I will cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing." Did you guys know there was a prophecy that on the day of the Lord that he was going to make the earth different? He's going to transform it, make it a blessing. And then he's going to cause, it says, "And I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it.
That's not the only book that says that.
But the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon." So what's that calling? If God transforms the earth and makes it a blessing, could that have anything to do with flat earth? You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like
Like,
it.
I don't really know how, but I'm saying it seems like it.
Yeah. I'm pulling up this second book of Revelation right now.
Oh yeah, I've got that here too. I'll open it up. We were gonna actually look at this book a little bit. The second, it's like an apocrypha book.
It
It's the
talks
same
about the earth.
John.
It talks about the earth being changed, and it actually says after that, after it talks about the earth being changed, then the Lord will come and dwell with man. Like
Wow.
it clearly says that these things will happen, and then he comes to the earth. I'm trying to find it.
How long is this? Because we could probably just read it. I mean, it's not that
It's like
long.
it's like 30 minutes on 20 something minutes on YouTube.
Do you feel like switching off a little bit and reading, or what? I
Yeah,
don't
we can do
know.
that.
I love this book. It's been a while
Yeah, I
since.
do too.
I don't know. Actually, I
I've
don't
li-
think I've ever read it. I've only listened to it. But
I listened to it like 5 times this week.
how about if I
I
just
actually,
start reading this first part and then we see how far we get or whatever? Because I know there's gonna be interesting stuff in here.
oh yeah, for sure. All right, I'm
All
down.
right, all right, here we go. I like that how we just make a decision to do it. Revelation of Saint John the Theologian. This is like the second book that he wrote. Because we're all familiar with the book of Revelation in the Bible. This is in addition to that. After the taking up of our Lord Jesus Christ, I, John, was alone upon Mount Tabor, where also he showed us his undefiled Godhead. That was the transfiguration. And there's something to that. But anyway, and as I was not able to stand, I fell upon the ground and prayed to the Lord and said, O Lord my God, who has deemed me worthy to be thy servant, hear my voice and teach me about thy coming. When thou shalt come to the earth, what will happen? The heaven and the earth and the sun and the moon, what will happen to them in those times? Reveal to me all, for I am emboldened because thou listenest to thy servant. And I spent 7 days praying, and after this a cloud of light caught me up from the mountain and set me before the face of the heaven. Like, take this all in, guys. Like, use your
Yeah, there's that.
imagination. Use your
There's that.
imagination. Like, this is some
There's that face of the earth right there.
in the face of the heaven. Yeah.
Yep.
But this is like, let your imagination listen to what he says and experience what he's describing. Like, put yourself in his shoes. Because it's like, if you listen to the details, it's really interesting. And I spent 7 days praying, and after this, a cloud of light caught me up from the mountain and set me before the face of the heaven. And I heard a voice saying to me, Look up, John, servant of God, and know. And having looked up, I saw the heaven opened, and there came forth from within the heaven a smell of perfumes of much sweet odor. And I saw an exceeding great flood of light, more resplendent than the sun. And again I heard a voice saying to me, Behold, righteous John. And I directed my sight, and saw a book lying of the thickness, methought, of 7 mountains. That's interesting. And the length of it, the mind of man cannot comprehend, having 7 seals. And I said, O Lord my God, reveal to me what is written in this book. And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, in this book which thou seest, there have been written the things in the heaven, and the things in the earth, and the things in the abyss, and the judgments and righteousness of all the human race. And I said, Lord, when shall these things come to pass? And what do those times bring? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, there shall be in that time abundance of corn and wine, such as there hath never been upon the earth, nor shall ever be until those times come. Then the ear of corn shall produce a half phoenix. I don't know what that is. And the bend of a branch shall produce 1,000 clusters, and a cluster shall produce a half a jar of wine. And in the following year there shall not be found upon the face of all the earth a half phoenix of corn or a half jar of wine. And again I said, Lord, thereafter what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then shall appear the denier, and he who is set apart in the darkness, who is called Antichrist. I just have to remind people that darkness, it's not a mysterious thing. It's the night sky. That's what God He divided the light from the darkness, and he called the light day, and he called the darkness night. So we know what
Right.
darkness is. It's just night. It's
Yep.
like it's like the sky without the stars would be darkness, you know? Okay. The appearance, okay, sorry. And again I said, Lord, reveal to me what he is like. And I heard a voice saying to me, the appearance of his face is dusky, the hairs of his head are sharp like darts, his eyebrows like a wild beast's, his right eye like the star which rises in the morning, and the other like a lion's, his mouth about 1 cubit, his teeth span long, his fingers like scythes, the print of his feet of 2 spans, and on his face an inscription, Antichrist. He shall be exalted even to heaven, and shall,
SpaceX.
yep, SpaceX, and he shall be cast down even to Hades. Okay, this is what we're trying to say, you guys. They think they're going into low Earth orbit. They're just sinking into Sheol. They're
There you
going
go.
into an abyss. And I don't
Enoch
even think it's
56.
people going there. I don't think there's living people going there. Astronauts, there's no
Not
way.
yet.
Not yet, exactly. But they're being brought into that place by we're building all these rockets and all this technology to blaspheme God's tabernacle. And people just are kind of blind to the fact that they're involved in
Just
this.
think about that. Think about that one verse there, Joe, and everybody listening. When they say the Antichrist is whatever, the Pope, the Vatican, he shall be exalted even to heaven.
So he's going to go up to heaven, but he's going to end up in hell,
Mm.
cast down to Hades, making
me,
false displays.
There
Wow.
you go. Like making
What were you
fire
gonna
come
say,
down out
though?
of heaven. I said, to me, that one verse right there just throws away a lot of the
False
the
doctrine.
thoughts
False,
the
like,
thoughts of the Antichrist. Yeah.
the
And
Antichrist
I
is
was,
going to go up to the sky. That's what he's going to do.
man, there was times I thought Obama was the Antichrist. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
I
I understand where people are coming from,
there
for
was a
sure.
time when I read Revelation 18 when I was younger, and I said, that's got to be New York.
New
That's what
York,
I
yeah.
said. Yeah, because it's like a port town, you know, or city or whatever. I'm
I've
thinking
heard that
Manhattan,
before,
you
yeah.
know, and it,
Yeah.
and like then and it was at the same time probably that the trade centers, you know, collapsed, whatever. And so I'm thinking Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. I'm like, I don't know, man, but that's not what it is. Babylon is a
No,
great city that reigns over the kings of the earth.
that's
It
right.
like it deceived the entire world.
It's a
Babylon
prison
did.
for evil spirits.
Yep, it's a prison for, it's a habitation of devils and a hold
Devils.
of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So, is it interesting that this abyss of fire, where these fallen angels and the 7 transgressing stars were led to this place of darkness? I just, yeah, I don't know. I'll
And
keep reading.
they just happen to be like evil. They're
Yeah.
fallen angels. I
Well,
mean,
and they're also they're I guess they're the definition of Luciferian.
yeah,
They
Satan's
want to
angels.
exalt themselves above God,
There
like
you go.
literally in the sky, you know.
They're Antichrist.
Yep. And
Yep.
then I will make the heaven brazen, so that it shall not give moisture upon the earth. And I will hide the clouds in secret places, so that they shall not bring moisture upon the earth. And I will command the horns of the wind. Wow, the horns of the wind. So that the wind shall not blow upon the earth. That's from Revelation 7. When the angels tells them not to blow on the earth or any tree until the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads.
Right here, Joe, where it's talking about he's going to hide the clouds that it shall not moisture upon the earth. I
Yep.
think that's why in Revelation it says in those days they had the angels had the power to withhold the rain. It will not
Oh
rain or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yep.
And they could do plagues, right?
Yep.
Or that maybe I'm thinking of the 2 witnesses.
Yeah, it's as angels had power to
Oh yeah, to
with,
hurt the earth. I'm
withhold,
sorry.
yeah, withhold the rain too. It says,
So then we're, and I will command the horns of the wind, so that the wind shall not blow upon the earth. And again I said, Lord, and how many years will he do this upon the earth? Talking about the Antichrist still. And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, 3 years shall those times be, and I will make the 3 years like 3 months, and the 3 months like 3 weeks, and the 3 weeks like 3 days, and the 3 days like 3 hours, and the 3 hours like 3 seconds. All right, I'm confused, but I'll just leave it there.
I listened to that this week, and I just say that to me that just sounds like you're not going to know how long it's going to be.
That's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah, I think that's why he said it like that.
And as said the prophet David, his throne hast thou broken down to the ground. Thou hast shortened the days of his time. Thou hast poured shame upon him. And then I shall send forth Enoch and Elias to convict him, and they shall show him to be a liar and a deceiver. And he shall kill them at the altar, as said the prophet. Then shall they offer calves upon thine altar.
Let me say something real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Wasn't it? Now, we've been talking about this Mount of Figuration or whatever it is. I know we've been thinking about that.
The transfiguration? Like
the transfiguration.
Yeah. Was it Abraham and Moses or something?
Oh, was
or
it?
Moses and Elijah.
I thought it was Enoch and Elijah. That's weird.
Maybe, I can't remember, but it was two of the prophets. And they showed up in like bright garments. And
yeah,
and
I'm wondering,
light, and that's when God said, "This is my son. Whatever he does pleases me," or something like that. What did he say?
There's something going on with that. I know there is. I can't catch it. Yeah,
I don't know exactly what it is either, but I know that was that being talked about on Midnight Ride a little bit, or was that somewhere else that I saw that? Someone was talking about the transfiguration.
I think they were. Yeah.
But there's something very significant about that. And who is this? John, and who else saw it? I can't remember.
I think that's why we're confused on our time. What time?
I think you're right. I think you're right. Because maybe, when Jesus was resurrected,
right,
from the dead, from that point on, that could be when his kingdom came, like in heaven. I mean, because his kingdom's not of this world.
There you go.
But
makes sense.
we know he's king of New Jerusalem even right now.
I mean, to his servants, he's the king of everything. I mean, if you look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Satan's only got a short time and he's done with. So.
Yep. To the end of all generations. What if we're that last one? That would be really weird, but I mean, I think we are, but
I do too.
All right, I'll keep reading a little bit.
Hit you.
And again, I said, Lord, and after that, what will come to pass? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then all the human race shall die, and there shall not be a living man upon the earth. This is brought up in 2nd Esdras too, by the way. For 7 days or something.
And Isaiah 24.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Like primeval silence for 7 days or something like that.
But Isaiah 24 says that there was few men left, that the earth is burnt and few men are left. So I don't know.
Then will I send forth mine angels, and they shall take the ram's horns that lie upon the cloud. You guys, come on. I can't keep reading this stuff and have people just keep going.
What is that?
That's not what that's talking about.
Wasn't that what Daniel called it? The rams? Ram?
It was a he-goat and a ram.
And what's that word, ram? Ulie or whatever it is?
Yeah. However you say it. It's like it can be a ram, but it's also like a post, a pilaster, which is like a column, a pillar.
A pillar. Yep.
A strong tree, something strong.
And in Daniel 8, he called the Antichrist a horn.
Yeah, the little horn spoke great things, that was speaking great blasphemies.
So this book matches, for sure.
And look what it says. That I like that I wish people could see this. Then I will send forth mine angels, and they shall take the ram's horns that lie upon the cloud. If something was lying upon the cloud, wouldn't it be flying?
In the air, yep.
And Michael and Gabriel shall go forth out of the heaven and sound with those horns, as the prophet David foretold, with the voice of a trumpet of horn, and the voice, like, think of, I mean, when I think
Yeah, I
about some
want
of
to say
this stuff,
something. I want to say something real quick.
yeah, go for it.
I think when them horns are on the clouds in the air, I think them are the trumpets. That's when the trumpets are being. I'm not
That's
gonna say that they're doing it, but
no, but
I
that's the
think
right. That's what this is seeming to say, with the
I
voice
think
of a trumpet of horn, and the voice of so when looks like we just lost Thomas for a second. I think he's back in. Yeah, he's back in. Um, but
that,
when it says when we see these horns
that's
lying
when the
on the cloud,
trumpets.
that's the
Yep,
trumpets being blown. Like,
that's what I
wake
want to
up.
say.
Wake up,
Wake up.
people. Like that,
Yep,
like that. I'm waking myself up right now. I'm saying, wake up. No, really.
I
It's
hear you.
hard to come to grips with this stuff. It's hard to realize, are we this, like, are we all kind of this far behind
I think we are.
in our understanding? And
Yeah,
I do have to compare every one of us back to the disciples. And, like, I'm not ripping on anybody. I mean, I'm ripping on me just as much as anybody if I am
I
ripping
hear
on
you.
anybody. I'm
Yeah,
saying we'd never get these things until they come to pass. The disciples, they didn't understand the stuff he said until something happened, and then they were like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
yep.
They didn't grasp it until after the fact. And I think we're probably subject to that same behavior. I
Oh, for
think.
sure. Yeah.
And so, like, maybe we're in a time right now where he's revealing things, and it's like, wow.
We're in the time when the trumpets are being blown.
Yeah.
I think so. I
And the
really
voice
do.
of the trumpet shall be heard from one quarter of the world to the other, and from the voice of that trumpet all the earth shall be shaken, as the prophet foretold. And at the voice of the bird every plant shall arise. That is, at the voice of the archangel, all the human race shall arise. And again I said, Lord, those who are dead, from Adam, I think that's from Adam even to this day, and who dwell in Hades from the beginning of the world, and who die at the last ages, what like shall they arise? And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, all the human race shall arise 30 years old. And again I said, Lord, they die male and female, and some old, and some young, and some infants. In the resurrection, what like shall they arise? And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, just as the bees are, and differ not one from another, but are all of one appearance and of one size, so also shall every man be in the resurrection. Neither, or there is neither fair nor ruddy nor black, neither Ethiopian nor different countenances, but they shall all arise as of one appearance and one stature. All the human race shall arise without bodies, as I told you that in the resurrection, or as I told you that in the resurrection. And again I said, Lord, is it possible in that world to recognize each other, a brother his brother, or a friend his friend, or a father his own children, or the children their own parents? And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, to the righteous there is recognition, but to the sinners, not at all. They cannot in the resurrection recognize each other. And again, I, John, said, Lord, is there recollection of the things that are here, either fields or vineyards or other things here? And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, the prophet David speaks, saying, I remembered that we are dust as for man. His days are as grass, as a flower of the field. So shall he flourish, for the wind hath passed over it, and it shall be no more, and it shall not any longer know its place. And again the same said, his spirit shall go forth, and he returns to the earth. In that day all his thoughts shall perish. And again I said, Lord, and after that what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, then will I send forth mine angels over the face of all the earth, and they shall lift off the earth everything honorable, and everything precious, and the venerable and holy images, and the glorious and precious crosses, and the sacred vessels of the churches, and the divine and sacred books, and all the precious and holy things shall be lifted up by clouds into the air. And then will I order to be lifted up the great and venerable scepter, on which I stretch forth my hands, and all the orders of my angels shall do reverence to it, and then shall be lifted up all the race of men upon clouds, as the apostle Paul foretold. Along with them we shall be snatched up in clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And then shall come forth every evil spirit, both in the earth and in the abyss, wherever they are on the face of all the earth, from the rising of the sun even to the setting, and they shall be united to him that is served by the devil, that is Antichrist, and they shall be lifted up upon the clouds. This is interesting. And again I said, Lord, and after that what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then shall I send forth mine angels over the face of all the earth, and they shall burn up the earth 8,500 cubits, and the great mountains shall be burnt up, and all the rocks shall be melted, and shall become as dust, and every tree shall be burnt up, and every beast, and every creeping thing upon the earth, and everything moving upon the face of the earth, and every flying thing flying in the air. And there shall no longer be upon the face of all the earth anything moving, and the earth shall be without motion. Get the people off of the earth, it stops rotating. Wow.
Yeah, I caught that this week. I was like, without motion. That sounds like what's going on now.
And again I said, Lord,
Crazy.
and after it is, and after that what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then shall I uncover the four parts of the east, and there shall come forth, ready guys? 4 great winds, and they shall sweep all the face of the earth, from the one end of the earth to the other, and the Lord shall sweep sin from off the earth, and the earth shall be made white like snow, and it shall become as a leaf of paper, without a cave or mountain or hill or rock, but the face of the earth, from the rising even to the setting of the sun, shall be like a table. Wow, dude.
Sounds
like
flat.
a table, guys, flat like a table, and white as snow, and the rains of the earth shall be consumed by fire. I got an echo.
Oh, do you?
Maybe that's me, I don't know.
I'm going to flip it over.
And it shall cry unto me, saying, or wait, did I skip a little bit? Or no. The earth shall be consumed by fire, and it shall cry unto me, saying, I am a virgin before thee, O Lord, and there is no sin in me. As the prophet David said aforetime, Thou shalt sprinkle me with hyssop, and I shall be made pure. Thou shalt wash me, and I shall be made whiter than snow. And again he said, Every chasm shall be filled up, and every mountain and hill brought low. And the crooked places shall be made straight, and the rough ways into smooth. And all flesh shall see the salvation of God. Wow. You want to read for a little while?
Yeah. And again I said, Lord, and after that what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then shall the earth be cleansed from sin, and all the earth shall be filled with a sweet smell, because I am about to come down upon thee. See, those happen before he comes down, because I am about to come down upon the earth. And then shall come forth the great and venerable scepter, with thousands of angels worshiping it, as I said before. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man from heaven with power and great glory. And then the worker of iniquity with his servants shall behold it, and gnash his teeth exceedingly, and all the unclean spirits shall be turned to flight. And then seized by invisible power, having no means of flight, they shall gnash their teeth against him, saying to him, Where is thy power? How hast thou led us astray? And we have fled away, and have fallen away from the glory which we had beside him who is coming to judge us. And the whole human race, woe to us, because he banished us into outer darkness. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And again I said, Lord, and after that what wilt thou do? And I heard a voice saying to me, Then will I send an angel out of heaven, and he shall cry with a loud voice, saying, Hear, O earth, and be strong, saith the Lord, for I am coming down to thee. And the voice of the angel shall be heard from one end of the world even to the other, and even to the remotest parts of the abyss. And then shall be shaken all the powers of the angels and all of the many eyed ones, and there shall be a great noise in the heavens, and the 9 regions of the heavens shall be shaken, and there shall be fear and astonishment upon all the angels. And then the heavens shall be rent from the rising of the sun even to the setting, and an innumerable multitude of angels shall come down to the earth. And then the treasures of the heavens shall be opened, and they shall bring down every precious thing, and the perfume of incense, and they shall bring down to the earth Jerusalem robed like a bride. And then there shall go before me myriads of angels and archangels bearing my throne, crying out, Holy, 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 Lord of Sabbath. Heaven and earth are full of thy glory. And then will I come forth with power and great glory, and every eye in the clouds shall see me, and then every knee shall bend, of things in heaven and things on earth and the things under the earth. And then the heavens shall remain empty, and I will come down upon the earth, and all that is in the air shall be brought down upon the earth, and all the human race and every evil spirit along with the Antichrist, and they shall all be set before me naked and chained by the neck.
Get
And
ready.
again right. And again I said, Lord, what will become of the heavens, and the sun and the moon along with the stars? And I heard a voice saying to me, Behold, righteous John. And I looked and saw a lamb having 7 eyes and 7 horns. And again I heard a voice saying to me, I will bid the lamb come before me, and will say, Who will open this book? And all the multitudes of the angels will answer, Give this book to the lamb to open it. And then will I order the book to be opened. And when he shall open the first seal, the stars of heaven shall fall from the one end of it to the other. And when he shall open the second seal, the moon shall be hidden, and there shall be no light in her. And when he shall open the third seal, the light of the sun shall be withheld, and there shall be no light upon the earth. And when he shall open the fourth seal, the heavens shall be dissolved, and the air shall be thrown into utter confusion, as saith the prophet. And the heavens are the works of thy hands, they shall perish, but thou endurest, and they shall all wax old as a garment. And when he shall open the fifth seal, the earth shall be rent, and all the can't say that word,
Tribunals.
tribunals,
I
there
think.
you go,
Yeah.
tribunals upon the earth, upon the face of all the earth shall be revealed. And when he shall open the sixth seal, the half of the sea shall disappear. And when he shall open the seventh seal, Hades shall be uncovered. That's
Whoa.
crazy right there.
What does that mean? So the
I
sixth
know
seal. Like, what if we look at the book of Revelation? Where's the sixth
that
seal?
second Ezra's right there we were reading to begin with, when it said that Hades will be uncovered.
Right here. The lake of torment will appear, and across from it will be the place of rest. That's.
Is that the
Uh,
other half of the sea?
it said half of the sea will be gone. Did it? Is that what it said? Let me go
Yep.
back. Where was that? The sixth seal. When you
Yep.
shall open the fifth seal, the earth shall be rent. Okay. Where was that? Oh, half of the sea shall disappear. Whoa. The dark waters. See ya.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because heaven is light. There's no darkness in heaven.
That's why the sun and moon are not going to give their light.
Because you wouldn't see them anyway. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? Like, so you know how we were, before we got on, we were like talking about if this, like, a lot of the things that seem to me anyway, and a lot similar you're thinking is that a lot of the things like like a rapture. Okay, just for an example, I'm not trying to get into a useless
I
debate.
hear you. Yeah.
Um, but the rapture, that word, um, my understanding of it is it's more of like uh, redeeming.
A pulling
Like,
away.
yeah, and in my mind, I like when Sears used to be a thing and they'd sell big appliances. No, I just got to say this because this is how it makes sense to me, and I think that when I think of it this way, it makes sense to me that this rapture idea, we're in the middle of it. It isn't a thing maybe quite like we would think, but maybe it's happening now. So like Sears, you say you go buy an oven or something at Sears when I don't even know if they exist anymore, but back in the day, you'd go to Sears and you'd buy, a washer and dryer or something. I don't know. Well, you'd just get like a ticket when you paid for it, and you'd have to go, you know, down the road or even to the other part of town or whatever to the warehouse where they actually had your appliance that you bought. And you'd hand them a ticket and you'd say, I already paid for this. This is already mine. I'm here to pick it up. Right? Like the payment's been made and now I'm picking up the product.
So you
So
think tickets are being given out?
yeah, well, yeah, I think. Well, I guess in the way that would be in that story would be, um, Jesus.
Sealed in their forehead?
Jesus bought everyone
Yeah.
their I don't know what they call that ticket, but pickup ticket or whatever they call it. Um, he already got you one for whatever appliance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He already paid for it, and he has the power to pay for it. He was given the power, however you want to say it.
Paid in full.
Yep, and it was declared, and
Right.
he's held, like, all of his word has been true. Like he was born as a man. He taught, like, there's so many books that are full of prophecies where he showed up to Adam and he showed up to prophets and said, I'm going to be coming. Like before he came.
For
He's
sure.
outside of time, which is wild to think about, but he's outside of time. That's the best way to put it. We are not outside of time. We don't have the option to be outside of time because our reality is that we live under this declaration that he made. Part of the declaration he made was it goes for this long.
Couldn't have
And
said
then,
it better.
and then that's the last of generations. It stops and
No
it'll
more
all
time.
be changed.
Yep.
A new heaven and a new earth. And so if you look at like the whole time that we have, like the Bible history all the way back to Adam, right? He made covenants and he made made promises to many people. And what I'm saying is he's already kept those promises through all of time. You think he's going to cop out on the last one?
No, he can't.
He can't, and he's not.
No.
And that what I'm saying is, so even the idea of rapture, if a rapture happens, maybe it happens in a way where I would say, I mean, just saying my own story or whatever, my own journey, is that at the same time, I can't explain it, but at the same time that I started, like really, and I can't tell you exactly why, I really was most attracted to the Bible, like, and especially like anything that Jesus was saying, anything that he did or said. So I love the Gospels and the Book of Revelation too. He says a lot in there, and I'm like, I kind of met him doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And maybe that was him calling me. I don't know, but all I know is that ever since then,
I got a
and
verse for that, Joe.
okay, ever since then, it's been like 6 or 7 years, maybe 8 years, maybe more, that I've had this longing for what he says, the stuff that he says, and this and the like the way he does stuff. He teaches lessons today. Like he's not dead. he's
Right.
actually he's actually like in many of what people call silly writings, silly
Hmm.
fairy tales. But you find
Sad.
truth about those people in
Yep.
there, and like I feel like sharing one. Let me just see if it's still up here. Because like there's people come to the channel and they comment every kind of comment you can imagine, but
Give those testimonies for sure.
I just want to show you one. Oh, will it let me? I don't remember what the video was. What was the video? Sorry, guys. Someone commented, the that was included in the comment, this silly book or whatever.
When you get
And
done, I got a verse to read about that. What we were just talking about.
okay, why don't you read the verse because I'll just keep scrolling
All
down
right.
until I find it.
It's. I'm sure you know it's in Isaiah 43. It says, verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even every one that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us the former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified, or let them hear and say, it is truth. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am the Lord, and besides me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, that I am God.
That's
Amen.
awesome.
I think that's what you were just talking about right there. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I
Draw
think that right
just
there
like
is.
drawn to.
I think that is the what they call that word aposo, apop, the rapture. They have a name. They
Oh,
have a word for it.
yeah, or maybe what you I can't think of
It's
what it
called.
is.
It's like a pulling away. I forget
Yeah,
the name
you
of
almost
it.
said it. You said
Yeah,
it.
popso or poxo or something like that. I can't
Yeah,
say it.
I can't say it. You made me think of apocrypha, but then I know what word you're talking about. Um,
I
but
think that
but it's like a
is the pulling. Yep.
and I think like because I feel like we're living in the world doing hard work. You know what I mean? We're all just living our lives, obviously. But in
Trying to
addition to
survive. Yep.
that, in addition to that, there's something that holds us up, like apostate. Alley Cat said, but I don't. Harpazo. That was the one. Franklin Watson said it. Thank you, Franklin Watson. That was the word, right? Harpazo, or
Yep.
harpa.
That's it.
Yeah,
Popso.
that's what. That's the other word I was thinking too. Alley was apostate. um,
No, that's the generation we're in.
yeah. That no. That just describes all this trying to climb up into heaven stuff. Any
You ain't
kind of
lying.
space exploration
Yep.
garbage.
Wickedness.
Um, Oh yeah. So here it is. Okay. So this person, like, I'll give it to him. Anybody that can come to the channel, watch the video, comment, even though they like very much dislike it or something. I got respect for people that can comment without being rude. So shout out to Spheroidal Master 1910. We go back and forth a little bit. Since there's no evidence for any deity or extranatural realm, there can be no such thing as blasphemy. Oh, okay. So I gotta give the context. This video, it was just like a replay of the Apollo astronauts in quarantine talking to the president, and the president had like they prayed to God.
You're right.
To thank him for letting them get safe, return safe from the dangers of the heavens. And I'm like, to me, it's like that's such a conflict of, and I don't think it would have been 10 years ago. I would have been like, big deal. Yeah, God's up there, whatever. I don't, because I believe in God. I did then, but I just maybe didn't get to the point where I knew him. And how
you didn't think there was anything wrong with that?
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything wrong with that.
Me neither.
And so, but now, for whatever reason, I see some horribly wrong things being done, and the prophets seem to say that these things being done, very specific things being done, end up damaging and the sky itself,
bringing in their own destruction.
Yes. And bringing in evil spirits, bringing in the kings of the spirits of the kings of the Medes, and these like fallen angels,
Grecia,
bringing
Media.
them from where hell's where this place is being revealed to us. Do you know what I'm saying? This solar system is a place where it's a pit. It's a bottomless pit. And that's what science, physics, like they apply physics to heaven and think that they're smart. But that's right. What physics would tell you is that, with gravity and all this other stuff, right? Like Earth is right now in a state of free fall around the sun because we're falling straight towards the sun.
Huh.
But we have enough speed that we're going around it.
Thank God, right?
We all understand the concept, but sorry, back to the comment. So since there's no evidence for any deity or extranatural realm, there can be no such thing as blasphemy. All such laws are attempts to control the free thoughts of honest humans. We will not stand for any claims of special privilege just based on the incoherent rantings found in someone's silly book of legends and myths. Every time you publish something like this, so he's talking to me here. Every time you publish something like this, you disparage and demean the efforts of hundreds of thousands of people, most of them Christian, who gave their careers to achieve the greatest technological milestone ever for no good reason. So he's saying, why do you do this?
Whoa.
So, but I know he's genuine.
I hear you.
So how can I reply to that? So here's what I wrote. The thing is that you can believe what you choose, and many of us have been supernaturally touched and made to believe in the God of the Bible. Because that's really my explanation for it. God did it. God showed me this different thing. He showed me a different world.
Yep.
And I think specifically Jesus showed it to me. And people are like, how do you know Jesus?
Showed you the former things.
And he's outside of time, guys. He spent all day with me.
Amen.
You too. Like
all of us. Yep.
Just hanging out with you all day. And you know I'm not being like wishy-washy weird. What I'm saying is you can rely on him all day.
You ain't lying.
And it changes just the entire way that you view this entire experience called life, or everything about it,
I'll
every
tell you,
aspect
Joe.
of it.
Sometimes I feel like when I listen to these scriptures that they're there, like speaking to me, like
Okay, let me.
whoever,
No, yeah, and it's
Jeremiah,
it's in a way
Isaiah.
that everyone would understand if as you have it, as it happens, like as you learn some of these things, and it all starts with truth. It starts with truth.
Amen.
If you can identify that there's a lie in something, fundamental, like the nature of reality. If someone can introduce something to you that you haven't considered, wouldn't it be of the most like one of the most important things to not to believe it, but to consider it, with the evidence or the reasoning to consider it being that another person lives their life under this understanding
That you don't even know.
that you haven't considered yet. So like
Yep.
that's I mean, a lot of people have heard about this kind of stuff, but it's something that I like. All I could say about it, and there's people in the chat that are saying the same things. Braxton says, "Amen, I was touched too." Alley Cat says, "A different world exactly." So all I'm trying to say is that when you start to identify a lie and be able to say, well, this is a lie, and why is everything else that I'm believing is real, like needs this lie, like any one of the things, like the ground being in motion when we all know it's not. It never moves.
Right.
Never moves. And then they're like reference frames and relative to, and no, you're the place that perceives it. You walk around as this tool to perceive. You're never anywhere else but where you are right now. You can go places in the world, but you can imagine being anywhere, but you can't base your reality on something you imagine, like the solar system. Some cartoons that we've been brainwashed with, come on. And it's not like one person is lying to us, like our parents or something. This is the devil. This is a conspiracy, but it's not a human conspiracy, you guys.
Spiritual.
There's, like, whatever you want to call it, angelic beings, angels. It's a different creation than a human. Like, and they live in a different
6:12.
place. Yeah. And there's evil ones in the sky. And so that's what's interesting about hell being disclosed across from paradise, is because it's up in the sky, you guys. It's a dark place up in the sky where what did he say? They were going around the fire. The 7 stars that were going, what did it say?
Rolling over the fire.
Rolling over the fire. They're rolling over the fire. 7 stars are rolling over a fire. I mean, didn't I show you a picture of something like that? How come Enoch describes stuff like this? But what was he told? Oh, that's where you guys live. No, that's not what he was told. He said, this is where Jesus is going to put all the evil spirits until judgment, under chains of darkness.
Enoch said, "Earth, Earth,"
Yeah.
like the Muppets.
Yeah, exactly. Earth. No. Yep. I got a video about that.
You're crazy.
I kind of want to see if I got that.
We should make sure we finish that revelation for sure,
Yes, for
though.
sure. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
let me just finish this comment and then we'll go.
yeah,
I'm
go with
sorry.
it. Go with it.
I'm
No,
getting
you're good.
all
You're good.
sidetracked all
This
over
is
the
what we
place.
do.
So what I said to him is I said, "You accuse me of demeaning the efforts of many people. Yes, I must state that these people, without realizing it, have desired to fight against the God of the Bible. They've gone the way of Lucifer, who desires to ascend into the heavens and exalt his throne there. Lucifer is a loser, though, and winds up gathering up unsuspecting people like you to fall into the pit with him. I hope you consider a different point of view." Because I do. I really do.
Couldn't
But
have
at
said
the
it
same
better.
time, I appreciate people commenting. Like his comment was against what I was doing. But do you notice how it was very um un like it was very proper, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, about
that's
the
cool.
worst thing that he said is the incoherent rantings found in so and so. That's just description. I mean, so that we get what he's saying, and I get what he's saying. So anyway, there's like two different. Yeah, we were back in Revelation. Sorry.
Is that on your YouTube or is that on your TikTok?
Yeah, it was on my that was on my YouTube right there.
Got you.
Yep, that was Apollo Blasphemy, because that was a crazy, crazy. You
We're
have
down here.
made the heavens a part of man's world. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me? That's blasphemy.
that was a whoa. Yeah. Mm. What is
So
that
where,
one, Joe? It says, "Woe unto them that call darkness good and light bad," or something like that.
or yeah, call good evil and evil good or
Good.
something.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it made me think of.
Um, and it might be different in a different. Or
I
should
hear
we
you.
look it up? Where were we here?
We're down here where it says the sixth seal.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta find it.
I don't even know if this has got chapters.
I don't know. I see like five. Do you see 585 there somewhere?
Yeah, I got the same one you got. You sent it to me,
Okay.
remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're on the same
Yeah.
page. Um, I totally lost where the six. Oh, there it was. Okay, I got it.
We're at the bottom of 585 right there. Yep.
I'm gonna try to keep my cursor on the line that we're reading, so people can go along if they want.
I'll read that little last part there. And when he shall open the sixth seal, the half of the sea shall disappear. And when he shall open the seventh seal, Hades shall be uncovered. And I said, Lord, who will be the first to be questioned and to receive judgment? And I heard a voice saying to me, the unclean spirits, along with the adversary, I bid them go into outer darkness, and where the depths are. And I said, Lord, and in what place does it lie? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, as big a stone as a man of 30 years old can roll and let go down into the depth, even falling down for 20 years will not arrive at the bottom of Hades. As the prophet David said before, and he made darkness his secret place.
We always looking
Man,
at that verse. That's in Psalm 18.
18:11, yep.
That's what we're always looking at that because it talks
Yep.
about it says dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Like it's a secret.
The secret place, yep.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 7:20 and through 25 talks about it. His secret
And then
place.
so this says even falling down for 20 years will not arrive at the bottom of Hades. You guys want to know what? The space station's been up there like 22 years. Just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
even falling for 20 years, it will not arrive at the bottom. That's
Nope,
just kind of interesting that it says 20 years. Anyway.
The Lord's going to bring it down. Excuse me.
You're right.
And I said, Lord, and after them, what nation will be questioned? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, there will be question of Adam's race, those nations, both the Greek and those who have believed in idols and in the sun. And so they believed in idols and in the sun and in the stars, and those who have defiled the faith by heresy. and who have not believed the holy resurrection, and who have not confessed the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, then will I send them away into Hades, as the prophet David foretold. Let the sinners be turned into Hades, and all nations that forget God. And again he said, they were put in Hades like sheep, death shall be their shepherd. And again I said, Lord, and after them whom wilt thou judge? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, then the race of the Hebrews shall be examined, who nailed me to the tree like a malefactor. And I said, And what punishment will these get? And in what place, seeing that they did such things to thee? And I heard a voice saying to me, They shall go away into Tartarus, as the prophet David foretold. They cried out, and there was none to save to the Lord, and he did not hearken to them. And again the apostle Paul said, As many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law, and as many as have sinned in law shall be judged by means of law. And again I said, Lord, and what of those who have received baptism? And I heard a voice saying to me, Then the race of the Christians shall be examined, who have received baptism, and then the righteous shall come at my command, and the angels shall go and collect them from among the sinners. That's crazy right there.
You know what that
As
sounds
the,
like? I just got to say this. It
Go
says,
ahead.
and collect them from among the sinners. That wording sounds similar to Ezekiel 37, or maybe, yeah, 37, where he says, I will take you from among the heathen
Yep.
and place you in your own land.
In your own land. Yep.
Sorry.
Enoch too. Enoch chapter 1. Ain't that what it says? That let me get it right here. The blessed righteous living in the day. Okay, that just says when the wicked and godless are to be removed. But that also says the godless right there.
I think it says the day
There's,
of tribulation. But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere in Enoch it says that too. The sinners, the
That they'll
the
be removed
sinners.
from the earth.
Yep.
That is in Enoch 1 now that you mentioned it.
Is it?
I'll look it up right now.
Where am I at here? Okay, law and let me see, baptism. Okay, we read that from among the sinners. The Lord will not suffer the rod of the sinners in the lot of the righteous, the rod of the sinners, and all the righteous shall be placed on my right hand, and shall shine like the sun. Ain't that what Daniel said? They'll shine bright as the firmament, or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, he
As
said
thou,
the righteous will shine like the brightness of the firmament.
yep, as thou seest, John, the stars of heaven, that they were all made together, but differ in light. So shall it be with the righteous and the sinners. For the righteous shall shine as lights in the sun, but the sinners shall stand in darkness.
Wow.
There's something going on with that light and darkness and righteous and sinner, ain't
Yep.
there? Mm. And again I said, Lord, and do all the Christians go into one punishment? Kings, high priests, priests, patriarchs, rich and poor, bond and free? And I heard a voice saying to me, Hear, righteous John, as the prophet David foretold, the expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Now about kings, they shall be driven like slaves, and shall weep like infants. And about the patriarchs and priests and Levites of those that have sinned, they shall be separated in their punishments according to the nature of the is that particular
Peculiar.
peculiar, I can't even say that word, transgression of each, some in the river of fire, and some to the worm that dieth not, and others in the seven mouthed pit of punishment. To these punishments the and again to these punishments the
I think
that
it's
don't
got cut off or something.
it did. And again I said, Lord, and where will the righteous dwell? And I heard a voice saying to me, Then shall paradise be revealed,
Yeah.
and the yeah, and the whole world and paradise shall be made one, and the righteous shall be on the face of all the earth with my angels, as the Holy Spirit foretold through the prophet David, the righteous shall inherit the earth and dwell therein forever and ever.
Wow.
And again I said, Lord, how great is the multitude of the angels, and which is the greater, that of the angels or of men? And I heard a voice saying to me, as great as in the multitude of the angels, so great is the race of men. As the prophet, he said, he set bounds to the nations according to the number of the angels. And again I said, Lord, and after that what will thou do? And what is to become of the world? Reveal to me all. And I heard a voice saying to me, hear, righteous John, after that there is no pain, there is no grief, there is no groaning, there is no recollection of evils, there are no tears, there is no envy, there is no hatred of brethren, there is no unrighteousness, there is no arrogance, there is no slander, there is no bitterness, there are none of the cares of life, there is no pain from parents or children, there is no pain from gold, there are no wicked thoughts, there is no devil, there is no death, there is no night, but all is day. As I said before, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, that is, men who have been made like the angels through their excellent course of life. Them also must I bring, and they will hear my voice, and there shall be one fold, one shepherd. What is that, John?
I don't know, but that's awesome. I just love the way that he said that.
He said, my sheep, I have many, how do you say it? He said
Yeah,
something about,
he said, talked about different fold. I can't remember.
yeah. And again I heard a voice saying to me, behold, thou hast heard all these things, righteous John. Deliver them to the faithful men, that they also may teach others, and not think lightly of them, nor cast out pearls before swine, lest perchance
Perchance.
they should trample them with their feet. And while I was still hearing this voice, the cloud brought me down and put me on Mount Tabor. And there came a voice to me saying, blessed are those who keep judgment and do righteousness in all time. And blessed is the house where this description lies. As the Lord said, he that loveth me keepeth my sayings, in Christ Jesus our Lord, to him be glory forever. Amen.
That book is awesome.
You ain't lying.
I enjoyed reading it more than listening to it.
You ain't lying.
Like I like what I guess you know what it is when I read it. I'm like required to concentrate on it more.
Go through the words. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to read more. Been
Angie
praying
says,
on that.
"Oh no, flat." Hold on, Angie. Where's that verse that says Earth will be like made like a table?
That's up there a little bit.
I don't know where it was.
It says, let me find it right here.
It's like a prophecy, Angie.
Yeah, it's I found it, but I can't find the chapter.
Why is
Can we
that
read
flat?
it?
Yeah, if you can, yeah.
But the face of the earth from the rising even to the setting of the sun shall be like a table, and white as snow, and the reins of the earth shall be consumed by fire. And it shall cry unto me, saying, I am a virgin before thee, O Lord, and there is no sin in me. As the prophet David said aforetime, thou shalt sprinkle me with hyssop,
Hyssop? I
and
don't know.
hyssop, and I shall be made pure. Thou shalt wash me, and I shall be made whiter than snow. And again he said, every chasm shall be filled up, and every mountain and hill brought low, and the crooked places shall be made straight, and the rough ways into smooth, and
You know
all
what's
flesh
funny?
shall see the salvation of God. That's Luke
Oh,
3.
yeah. Salvation of God.
Yep.
Like
Isaiah says the
there's a lot.
glory.
You know when you were reading about from the setting of the sun to the setting, or the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, be made like a table, and it will be made white. It said, and it's like this is describing the new Earth, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Because, you were just reading, every mountain and hill shall be made low, and every valley shall be lifted or filled, whatever.
Hmm.
Angie was talking to Flat Sabbath, so she said, "Oh no, Flat," and I'm sitting there on the defense. I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
That was funny yesterday when you put in the chat your name and then you put the arrow and you're like, that
Flat
guy's a flat
earther,
earther.
flat
Yeah.
earther. I am. I'm happy about it. I've
I
always
hear you.
been happy about it. It's like, I don't know. Like if I
So I
get,
was at
oh, go ahead.
I was at Michelin on Friday picking up this load, and this girl's like, "Oh, I like your cross," and I was like, "Oh, really?" I said, "You love Jesus, huh?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Is Jesus the Son of God or is Jesus God in the flesh?" And she's like, "Don't go churchy on me." I was like, "No, I'm not going churchy on you." I
Nice.
said, it's a big debate going around." She's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "You know, I'm what they call a flat earther." She's like, "A flat earther?" I was like, "Yeah, I believe the earth is stationary and has a firmament over us." And her face just like dropped. She's like, "What?"
Yeah,
And then I started talking about, you know what, climbing up into heaven. I gave her like 10 verses. She was in shock. But
dude, it's a
what
curse
got
that
me,
came over our world, and Angel even showed that to Zechariah. Like, this is the curse. He called it a
what,
curse.
what got me, Joe, was I, after explaining her John 10:1, Amos 9:2, Obadiah, Psalms, Ezekiel, I mean, I'm just sitting there spilling them out as fast as I could. And her
Nice.
face was like, you could tell she was in shock because she knew what I was saying is in the Bible. Like, it's there. She can go
Yeah.
read it. I told her that.
Yep.
I said, "Do you watch YouTube?" I was going to give her some channels, and she was like, "No, I'm not interested. I watch Netflix and my shows. I'm good. No, thank you." I was like, "Wow."
Hey,
I
you know
didn't say
what
that.
though? But that's cool though. Just like, I got a flat Earth on the back of my van, and
Right.
I have it on the back of my truck. Research flat Earth, but the stickers are kind of worn off. You can still read it on there, but I got to fix them all. I got to get some new ones. But what like I've thought about it before. If someone hasn't really thought about it, and then they see a sticker that just says Earth is flat or something like that. Like I saw a TikTok video of a Tesla was just parked in a parking lot.
Right.
Like, I don't know, they were at the beach or something, and they had a big cardboard sign just sitting in the Tesla that said the Earth is flat. And so people
Wow.
walking by it, everybody's looking at it when they're walking by it. But I think that those words have some kind of power to them, to make someone, almost like some kind of judgment can come along with those words. Like, or maybe that's not the right word, judgment. Maybe that's not the right word, but
I hear you.
like a fork in the road, or a, what do you call that? Like an ultimatum
Ultimatum to
is
search it out.
presented to you if you start thinking about that, and you're like, well, wait a minute.
Why would
You
somebody
re-
say that?
yeah, why would some?
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, there's tons of places people would start. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But, but like, we've been talking about it for years and years and years, and I still feel like I'm a baby learning it. Just learning the truth. So yeah.
I got it on the back of my trailer right now.
Oh,
Yep.
you do? Wow.
Oh yeah. The back of the trailer was real dirty on Saturday. I was like,
Nice.
screw
You
this.
like wrote it
I
on
put
there. Nice.
I put Earth is flat. Jesus is God.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
I was wondering why people were trying to run me off the road of coming over here. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. It wasn't the Jesus thing. It was the Earth being flat.
Hey, you gotta say it, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought about getting some stickers for my truck, but I don't know.
That's when you take a different job or something. You never know. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, I
I mean,
wasted my money
I'll
on
always,
stickers.
I'll always have a job. So
Yeah.
no, I got the new truck, Joe. So I was like, man, should I buy some stickers and put it on the back of the on the
Do it.
catwalk back there?
Heck
Nah,
yeah.
I'm probably gonna be leaving here soon anyway.
They'd probably complain about it or what?
No, I don't think they would. They're pretty cool. Oh, my dispatcher, her husband's a flat earther.
Nice.
Yep, I
It's
something
everywhere,
brung
man.
something brung it up, and I was like, yeah, I'm a flat earther, and she's like, no way. I was like, yeah. So I've been a flat earther since 2015. I gave her your channel to give to her husband.
Awesome.
Yeah, he probably watched it, I'm sure. She's
That's
like, yeah,
awesome.
he's a flat earther too. I was like, what do you think? And she's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, oh. I said, you should think more like your husband.
Hey, maybe that's why your husband's there, you know?
She's cool. Yeah,
So
it's crazy, man. You
I was
definitely
gonna
feel some. I definitely feel something convictional. You things need to be searched out when you hear those. When you,
yeah,
yeah, there's a
yeah.
reason why people are saying it
And
for
then like
sure.
anybody that, you know, actually says, "Oh, I'm going to look into that," you know, if anyone does that and they get online and search some stuff out, even if you know, if you search flat earth on Google, you get like it's not really a search
No,
engine. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a list for you. But the even going through that list,
it used to be.
I don't care if they have the debunkers on there because a lot of the stuff that the debunkers say is just garbage.
It is. Yeah,
To someone searching out the truth, you're like, just because we see moons going around Jupiter with our telescope says nothing about gravity, says
no.
nothing about what they are. That is a belief that we were all raised with. So to let go of that belief seems like your world's crumbling or something, but it's not.
I always
Truth,
use the ocean, Joe. Like I
yeah,
told her, my dispatcher. I said,
mm-hmm,
think about the ocean. You look out at it, flat, from left
yeah,
to right. They say it's curving, going in front of you, but if you look left to right, it's flat, horizon.
yep,
And I always use the stationary. I'm like, look at the ground. They say they think this place is moving. I usually say they think. I say they think this place is moving like 1,000 miles an hour. Does it look like it's moving 1,000 miles an hour?
not to me.
And sometimes they just look at me like, huh. And when I walk away, like Friday, I walked away, got to the truck. I was like, you know what? I said what I had to say. I said, I bet if she's got a Bible, and I'm sure she does. I said, she's probably more than likely going to open that thing up and start reading, finding those scriptures out. Because I told her about Elon Musk and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Elon
crazy.
Musk, that's, um, believe it or
She
not,
brung.
I'm actually working on a video.
Oh, you know what we should talk about?
What?
What was that? EUCLID, the
Mm,
telescope they just launched to go out
oh,
and
yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't
research
get to look
dark
at what
matter.
you sent me a link.
Oh, you know what that was?
What was it?
It was waves in the sky, Joe. Okay, so that was on I'm on this Truth Hunters. They do like Nibiru, Two Suns. I've been on there forever, and it's just they do shorts and
Okay, I'm going to your text and I'll just
it's a
click the
wave,
link.
like you know when that rocket goes through and it makes that shock wave.
Yeah,
It
another
was
one of
like
those.
that. It was like that, but it's going across the whole sky. Like, and guess what?
Oh,
What
wow,
got my
yeah.
what got my attention was
Yeah,
that
that's,
was that
I
was
saw that
within
video somewhere.
the same hour they launched that rocket yesterday. I
Yep.
know it was. I even put it in the comments. I was like, if anybody could tell me when this video was took and where it was took, and
Yeah.
I
It
put the
almost
link
looks
to the.
like, do you see that logo? It almost looks like Chinese or something, maybe. Or maybe not Chinese, but
They
something else.
sound Indian, like India
Maybe that's,
or
yeah.
Pakistan somewhere. That's what they sound like.
Okay.
But I
Yeah,
mean, how
I saw that video on TikTok.
did you?
I thought it was maybe just like, but this is, appears to be a
No,
different one.
there's definitely something going on with that. It looks like the sky, like there's a shock wave going across it.
Yeah, and it's flat. Like
What
the
I'm thinking though, I'm like, they just launched that rocket that
that's like
same
that
hour.
lunar wave, dude.
That's
That's
what
a
Alicia said.
daytime lunar wave.
That's what Alicia said. Yep.
Um,
That's
I can
crazy.
probably find that, but
It looks like it's more in the sky, not like it's out of the atmosphere or whatever,
yeah,
what we'd call the
it would
firmament.
be like where the clouds are. But
Yeah,
see,
it's
I
what it
think
looks
that
like.
okay, I'll tell you, and I don't think the firmament is just something physical
I hear you.
like glass. Like, but there's a reason. There's it's more complex. The firmament has to do with time.
For sure. Yeah.
So it has to do with like, if we were being all scientific, we'd say like velocity too. But it's hard. It's like hard like a rock, hard
Yep.
like a tank,
It's like hitting a wall.
like hitting a wall, a brick wall.
Yep.
Even hotter. Like it's like
You gotta
yeah.
burn
So
through.
yeah, and it's something that well,
Mm.
apparently when they re-enter, it's a ball of plasma for going around there. That's like 5,000 degrees or something. That's why
Right.
they need a horn-shaped vehicle like that in order to re-enter.
And burn her with fire.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's what comes to my mind too every time.
Oh man, every time. It's crazy.
Every time.
Ain't that weird?
Well, it's because that's what happens. That's what's happening.
So we're talking about the place of punishment and the lake of fire. We should read Enoch 67.
Yeah, that's
That
a good
part.
idea. Lake of Fire is mentioned in there. Let's go there. Let's see here.
For sure. Because I don't think the lake of fire has started yet. I think when the lake of fire starts, that's when
Yeah.
it's all going down. Then
You know what's funny? What's funny is I just made a video for TikTok and it got muted out. That sucks because I couldn't
Why?
really, just for the music or something that was on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it's just
That's
like
your
background
topic.
music or something. But I just made one about burning things in low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
Flames in low Earth orbit. Like, think about a flame, how it works. It goes up, heat rises, and all that.
Right.
Doesn't happen if you're in a state of free fall. So they talk about what they learned up there is that they have something called cold fire.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's cold. It's that there's no flame. But the combustion is happening.
There's no
So it's-
air.
Yeah. Well, there's air because they're doing it inside of the space station.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
So there's air, but there's no up or down
Direction. Yeah.
for the flame to know which direction to go. So it burns differently,
That's crazy, ain't it?
and it burns like black, like combustion, because the flame
made it.
doesn't need to be there.
You made a video on this a long time ago.
Yeah, I screen recorded that video. You know what I'm gonna
Did
do
you?
is I'm gonna put that video back up on my YouTube. I'm gonna re-upload it
There you go.
because TikTok
I've been saying,
denied
man,
me.
what would happen? We've seen space shuttles and rockets blow up. The Starship blew up. I don't think it was that high, but what would happen if they made it in the
I gotta
area
show you something.
and that thing exploded? Like
I gotta show you something. But
that second Esdra is really where the two horns collide. That makes me think of Falcon Heavy. It does every time I hear that.
let me look at something. There was a cargo dragon that just I don't know, 4 days ago or something
Yeah.
came back or whatever.
No, that telescope they launched yesterday was to study darkness.
To study darkness.
That's what it's for. I'm like,
Oh,
are y'all
boy.
are lost, man? I
I just
wonder how
want to
much
show
they
you.
spent. I wonder how much they spent on that. Wow.
I gotta find NASA's video here. What was it called? Was it like 27 or something?
What's that?
The Dragon, yeah, CRS 28, I guess.
I didn't even know they launched. Did they launch one?
No, they just undocked one.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to show you footage. It's wild. Yeah, it's right
I
here.
just think, Joe, it was crazy that they caught that wave like that in the sky at the same time they launched that. Within, it was like the same hour. I was
Wow.
like, something's going on there. Seems
Okay, I
like
gotta show you something.
looked like a scroll. I don't know where I get that from.
Let's see.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. Look at this. Okay, it's just coming to whatever undocking.
Right.
We'll just watch it for a minute. Oh, let me put it full screen.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see it. It does a series of burns to move to get away safely. So
And
just
did y'all
push
know?
back. Watch this.
Did y'all know they don't need humans on that? That thing does it by itself.
Look at that
It's crazy.
dragon, a fire-breathing dragon, right on the screen.
What'd it say,
up
Joe?
In what?
What'd it say? It said it spake as a dragon.
Yeah,
What's a dragon do?
breathes fire.
Spits fire and flies in the sky. Is that
And
not
floods
what
of
that
water
thing-
too. Floods of water too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Ain't
there you
that what-
go. There's the dragon being cast out into the earth.
Yeah. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has come down. Mm.
And he knows that he has a short time.
I wonder if that's why people are. They just act like. I think it says that in Baruch, that intelligence. Not saying everybody, but driving around out here, Joe, and just watching how people drive, and they just. I don't know. Something ain't right, man. It just.
Zombies.
They ain't thinking. Yeah, they're not thinking like they used to. They're just.
Some
living
people
in the
are
moment.
though. You get
I know.
surprised every once in a while. And
I
you're
know.
like, oh, this person is
Oh,
like on top of
me
it.
and-
You know what I mean?
Me and Alicia have been looking for a house, so I was talking to this old lady the other day. She lived in Tennessee. She had a house, and she sounded old, like she sounded like she was in her 60s, late 60s or something. But I couldn't believe we just started having a conversation about politics, and I was like, yeah, I started talking about Jesus, and she was agreeing with a lot of stuff I was saying, and when I hung up with her, I was like, man, I couldn't believe she knew all that stuff that she knew, like all of it, Obama and his, in quotations, wife and all that. I was like, wow, I didn't know.
That's what it's
Yeah.
called now. It's the in quotations wife. If there's questions,
Yeah,
in quotations wife.
we all know what I'm talking about. Michelle.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
she knew all that stuff. She knew why they were pushing transgender and all that. I was like, wow. For someone that age, for someone her age, I couldn't believe that. Normally, people that age are just, they've already lived their life, and seems like they're in la la land. Like they just don't. Most of them don't even care. It's like whatever. I've been here 70 years. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alicia's. I mean, Alicia knows I love her mom, but her mom, I've for like 8 years now.
You've had conversations with her about
Oh
it.
my God! I've sat on the phone for 2 hours with her, just
Yep.
spitting all this stuff out, and I was like, "Why don't you just look and search for yourself?" Nah, she's just like the lady at Michelin on Friday. I got Netflix. I don't need that. I'm like, wow.
It's yeah. It's comfortable to be comfortable, I guess, but
That's it.
is it a time for that? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so neither. You want to read Enoch 67:10?
Yes. Sorry. My
I got it right here if you want me to read it.
I'll read how about this? I'll read the up until 8 and then you read from 8 to the end.
Gotcha.
How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. So it's titled God's Promise to Noah, Places of Punishment of the Angels and of the Kings. And in those days the word of God came unto me, and he said unto me, Noah, thy lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall set in, so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. And I will. Am I reading the right chapter? Is this the right chapter? Yeah, it
Yeah,
is, isn't it?
you're on it. You're good.
Okay.
67.
Yeah, for a second I just got, like, I totally got
I
confused.
wanted to point out right there just one thing real fast while you
Yeah.
stopped.
Yep.
The angels were building the ark.
I
I'm
think
gonna leave
I think
that there.
yeah, I think they helped him build the
Yeah,
ark.
they don't teach you that in the Bible class.
No, actually, yeah, I to make an ark like that, think about it. I think it would be really hard to make it
I always
by
figured he
yourself.
had help. I always figured he had help from God, and that just proves it right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got nothing wrong with that. I was just pointing that out.
So verse 3, and I will make fast thy seed before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur. And it was connected to those waters. And that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished, who have led astray those who dwell upon the earth. You can go now. Verse 8 if you want.
But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body. For they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body, and deny the spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days, for when those angels are punished in these waters springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the spring shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, the judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and of the lust of their body. Therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever.
Lake of fire.
Yep. I think
Those waters are the waters above.
Yep, and I think those kings are the same kings Daniel was referring to.
And those waters, when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. So it's something that's happening, again, the same thing that, like when we see, let me see if I can get it on screen. We're going to my TikTok.
Joe loves that TikTok. I've been watching your YouTube replays on it.
Yeah, I put a good amount of them on there.
I called you the cloud child the other day. You were so happy those clouds were going past the moon.
Okay, here's one I just made.
It's funny.
when we see, oh, I don't got you. Hold on a minute. Sorry. Start cam. When we see this stuff, I guess I'm full screen there. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Um, if we read that chapter again, those waters, when the angels ascend,
Ascend. Yep.
rockets aren't just pieces of metal, you guys. I
No.
mean, they're destroying the sky. And one day, what did I say in this video? Jesus sent a signified angel to a man named John, showed him a vision of the end of the world. John wrote down that he saw angels fighting in the sky. This is no coincidence. Prepare yourself by putting your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. He will put an end to the battle that we see taking place. That's the only... Because when the world is destroyed, like if the physical world we live in, like, you wouldn't be worried about, like, hunger or anything like that, because it would be like on fire, everything. You're not going to probably be hungry when you're trying to run away from a fire or something. I'm just saying the cares in this world, Loa, like it was saying, the cares in this world, there is no, like, they won't exist in that world.
Yep. Gonna be gone.
So that's, yeah.
That's something
He's
good
the
to look
only
forward
answer.
to there.
He's the only answer. The truth.
That's right. That would go into Daniel 8 right there, what you were just talking about, those kings
Mm-hmm.
and the spirits in chapter 8:20.
Yeah.
That
Kings
the
that shall
ram,
arise out of the earth.
yep, the ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. They're spirits.
We're
Yep.
all over the place, Achilles 7. That was Enoch 67 that we just read.
Oh, we were just taking verses that kind of go into that same thinking about the
Oh,
waters.
you're not... Achilles isn't a fan of Enoch. Keep looking into it. It's a amazing book for me anyway. It's like after I read the book of Enoch, it seems like nearly all the prophets read it. Like, I guess, like, many of them say things right out of that, and Jesus too.
Can I ask him why? I'm not saying good or bad. I just ask him, why don't you believe the book of Enoch?
He doesn't trust the book of Enoch.
You don't trust it?
Yep. Which, I mean, like, I can't blame him. Like, we got to be careful, right?
I hear you.
But here is one thing to...
Bible included.
I guess, like, the whole book of Enoch that I've read, like, to me, like, the book of Jude is straight out of there. First,
sure.
Second, Third Peter are straight out of there. I'm convinced, most certainly, that Jesus and the disciples would look at the book of Enoch together. That's what I think.
They definitely had it in their possession. I mean,
well, they had it in their hearts and minds. I know that.
Yeah.
Just because of some of the information, like, one example is when Jesus rebuked the Sadducees after they asked him about marriage after the resurrection, like who will she be married to or whatever. And he's like, he said, you don't know the scriptures nor the power of God. And then he goes and he says exactly what's written in Enoch chapter 15 about marriage, and that we'd be like made like angels, and there is no marriage for angels because they're eternal.
It said that in that second book of Revelation too.
That we just read, yeah.
Yep. That's what I use to know that different books are saying the same thing. Maybe you could say, oh, they took that from the Bible and they just made it
Here's a
made
tough
it fit.
question. Enoch is older than JC. That's I would say
No, no.
not the book or anything, but and not Enoch because Jesus made everything.
Jesus, the
Like
Alpha and Omega.
he he's the one that is called the Word of God. So like in a like a lot of the prophets they say the word of the Lord came to me. Like
There you go.
that's an experience of them being visited by
Yep.
Jesus. And like in the book of Enoch, he's the elect one. That with him comes righteousness and grace, or whatever. Like he's described in the book of Enoch more than once. Tommy keeps hopping in and out. What do you think this is? A disco? I'm just kidding.
Or the Lord of Spirits.
Yeah, the Lord of Spirits. And that's the thing is that in heaven there's a throne, and Jesus Christ is the Son of the Father that's on that throne.
Amen.
But he's on the throne, and him and his Father are one.
You know how I see it, Joe?
You gotta
I
be
see.
you gotta be born as a baby to enjoy this world, to experience this world.
I
You go
see
in
the
as a
spirit.
baby. That's what I know.
I see that, like Jesus said, my Father is God is Spirit. So I
Hmm.
say that's the Spirit in heaven, like the Spirit. And
Lord
then
of Spirits, the Most High God.
when I hear him talking or moving or
Praying to.
walking, I see Jesus.
Yeah, well, he'd send his word. So, like, when creation happened, how did it
Jesus
happen?
did
It,
it.
it was spoken. He said,
Yep.
"Let there be light." Well, that was Jesus saying that because
There
he
you
is
go.
the word. He's the one that says the words. He's given all power on heaven or
Because
in heaven and on earth.
the things that he does and declares, they proceed from the Father, but he's the
Yep.
one that does them.
The same with the spirit of truth proceeds from the Father. It
Yep.
goes from forth from the Father's throne. So
Did you?
it's part of I don't really know exactly how to put it, but it's
I hate to bring this up,
what
but did you catch? Was you all the way in the end of Sean's video last night?
I was in and out.
Okay,
I
because
caught some of it and I was like not as interested as after I heard some of it.
they said something about the crucifixion, and they were like, no, he was murdered. He wasn't crucified. They murdered him. And I put in the
Well,
comments, I was
they
like,
hung him on a tree or whatever. They
well,
crucified him.
they they said it as if he was put to death. He was murdered. They murdered him, and
Well,
I'm
they
like,
did. They did
I
because
understand that.
didn't do something to deserve to be
I said,
killed.
well, why was he prophesied in the Old Testament to be?
That's what I think we're learning about, Tom. Because think about it. When
I've been seeing that. Not
well,
not like
I'm trying to learn it myself. Like I'm trying to grasp it myself. Like the question of why did Jesus have to shed his blood
there's many reasons.
in Golgotha?
Yep.
Well, like I know I never understand that my whole life,
Yeah.
but I understand maybe the concept that I'm that we're all supposed to maybe understand. But when I really think about it, I'm like part of me now says one of the biggest reasons why he came and had to be crucified was he needed to get into Sheol. Like
Yep.
I don't know how that works. I don't know what God allows to take place. You know what I'm saying? I don't write this. I'm just trying to understand it. And to me, he
He had to
had
conquer.
like
He had to conquer it.
yeah, like okay, here we go. This is a corny comparison, but that submersible thing that imploded, okay? If you knew they were down there and like it didn't implode, but they were like just waiting there, You'd want to get a sub and go down there and get them. Like, I'm just saying you'd want to save them, right? But they're down there. So like, God sent a way to get them out. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
If a resurrection of all these people, all these prophets, Isaiah, Ezekiel, all these prophets are up there in paradise, and they were resurrected from the dead already. And then what we're hoping for is another time for that to happen, and he said it would. Like that, it's almost as if like everything was divided in two, kind of when Jesus came. It was a whole different age. If that makes sense. I'm losing my voice.
Makes total sense.
So like the end of the world could be when Jesus, right when he was crucified, when he gave up the ghost. That might have been the end of the world, in a way, or the end of the age. I mean, because
that was the end. That was the end of death.
Yeah, well, it was the end of death that had happened already
for souls.
But then we started again now.
I don't know. I think it was the end of death.
Like maybe okay. I'm thinking differently now. I understand what you're saying. You're saying
I'm not saying people aren't going to die on the earth. No,
but you're saying like let me get crazy and just make an example and see if I'm understanding you. Like Rob Skiba passed away, and I would consider Rob Skiba to be like a legend in heaven. Like the angels probably talked about Rob Skiba all the time. So what I've been kind of saying is that, just assuming, I guess, is that Rob would be like in a place of rest, like
waiting,
like Abraham's bosom or whatever.
Yeah.
But am I right in saying that what you're suggesting is possibly that when Rob passed away in the hospital, that he went right to paradise?
What does it say in the New Testament, Joe? That to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
I got to tell you, I haven't thought about it like that. And I should have, but because we're talking about, we're talking about a lot of different things at once.
Oh, I know.
But,
and I'm not saying I'm right.
The idea, of the age, and that when Jesus came, you're saying, and I think you're right. I think what you're saying makes more sense in a way that I haven't thought about before. That when this place of rest doesn't exist for the righteous people, his holy city does. But there's going to be a resurrection, though, isn't there? Another one?
I think there's a pulling away, like we've been talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And then there's total destruction.
Like of matter, pretty much, or whatever.
Physical, gone. And then in that destruction, the wicked will be removed, and death, and like all of it, the devil, Satan, all of that.
And then the only thing that remains is righteousness stuff.
I think that's why in Revelation there was some that didn't see death, because they don't die, because they're here on the earth when it's destroyed. They just go straight. They're straight with God. Boom.
But Paul Paul did say that they'd like meet the dead would be raised. Do you think Paul was? Do you think Paul was talking about? No, he wouldn't have been talking about. I don't know.
I've been saying this.
I'm just trying to think about. I haven't thought about some of these things yet.
What do we see on the? This is real quick. What do we see on the ISS? Whether you say it's fake or not, there's people floating.
Yeah, they're in 0G.
They're in the heaven. What would happen if the sky rolled up? What does it say? What does it say in Enoch 83? The trees were ripped from their stems and hurled into the
abyss.
It sounds like things are going up.
Whoa.
And then you got You got Isaiah 43 saying that when you pass through the waters, when you go through the fire, I think the way they're going to be pulled up into the air is the sky gone, and there they go. Up, God's coming down, and they're going up. And they're meeting each other in the air.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's just my thought, though. I don't know. I wish I could. I wish I could get a glimpse into the future. Then I
Hmm.
know.
Well,
That's
I
all
think
good.
I think we're getting a glimpse into the future in one
Oh, we
way,
are.
like
We are. Yeah.
just like contemplating some of these thoughts. I think
Yep.
is healthy.
Oh yeah. What else is there to do? Oh, Netflix. My bad.
Netflix or uh,
Crazy.
play video games.
It's hard. I don't even play games. I
I don't
don't. I can't.
either.
Joe, I can't do much of anything else because this is it. Like I feel like if I'm doing something else, I'm like
That
I
it's
shouldn't be doing
not a good use of your time.
it. Exactly.
I feel the same way,
Exactly.
and it's not you doing that, is it? Like that's what I like about
It's the same thing that
the
was happening.
truthers
It was the same thing that was happening to Jeremiah. He said there was a fire. He said
burning.
that
Yeah, yeah.
burning
You
within him.
sent me a video the other night. That
Did you watch
Mike
that?
guy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did get something from that. That was good.
Seems
But
like you can learn something from him.
I have a hard time listening to that guy in particular. I don't know why.
I
It's
never
not that
seen
I
him
don't
before.
like him.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy and stuff, but after his flat Earth video, I couldn't.
Oh, did he do a flat Earth video?
Yeah, and it was fine. Like I'm not
That's cool.
saying he did it in a bad way or anything. It was
Yeah.
just some of the things that were brought up in there. I'm like, I totally disagreed with, but
Right.
that's probably every one of those kind of videos.
There was one in Jeremiah I wanted to read actually.
All right.
You're probably getting close here. We read that one. Where was it? I highlighted that one verse. Where was it at? 20. Here it is. Yeah, we were talking about this right here. It's the sins of Judah. It's chapter 2. There's something going on between Judah and Jerusalem. Every time I hear Jerusalem, I hear Judah. I think it's Judah. I'm talking about up there. It's like sounds to me like maybe I don't know. I ain't how to explain it.
That's one of those things I just have to say I don't understand
I mean, either just says
the
like
way
it's
that they
always said.
use the like some of the names to describe some of the people. I don't always get it. I think I sometimes get generally what is being said, but specifically, no. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Here's that right here. I don't even know where to begin really. I don't want to read the
start
whole
reading,
thing.
man. I'm all ears.
How bitter it is to abandon God. Let me just start right here. Is Israel a servant? This is 2 verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The young lion roared up upon him and yelled, and they made his land waste. His cities are burned without inhabitant. Also the children of Nophah and Tapanins, I can't say those words, have broken the crown of thy head. Has hast thou not procured this unto thyself, in that thou hast forsaken the Lord thy God, when he led thee by the way? And now, and now, what hast thou do in the way of Egypt to drink the waters of? I can't say that word neither. Sahor. Or what hast thou to do in the way of Assyria to drink the waters of the river? Thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken the Lord thy God, and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord God of hosts. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands. Doesn't it say that somewhere in Psalms, Joe? That something about a burst in the band and some trust in chariots and something like that.
Oh, Psalm 21, I think, or 20 says something.
I,
It says like some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but we
I think
will.
it says something about burst in thy band right there around that same. Maybe I'm wrong. And
Yeah, it
thou
might.
saidest,
I'm not sure.
I will not. And thou says, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest, playing the harlot. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, uh, holy. That's with a W. That's weird. Holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? This sounds like his gathering of his people right here. The vine, for thou though wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord God. How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffed up the wind at her pleasure and her occasion. Who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her mouth they shall find her. I think that's talking about Babylon right there. Or maybe it's, I don't know. It seems like it's going back and forth, Jerusalem and Babylon. Withhold thy foot from being unshoed, and thy throat from thirst. But thou sayest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets, saying to a stock, this sounds like the generation we're living in right now, I swear, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. Ain't that what they say? That the stardust or rocks, like that just makes me think about that. For they have turned their back unto me and not their face, but in the time of their trouble they will say, arise and save us. What's arising and saving them? But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble.
They're gonna be
This is
cast
definitely,
down, aren't they?
yeah, see, this is definitely talking about the time of trouble, Jacob's trouble.
Yeah, they're
Like,
gonna be thrown down. They're gods.
yep. But it's saying right here, who can arise and save us? Ain't that what they think these rockets are going to do to them?
Oh yeah, it's secure. It's like Elon Musk says, we have all our eggs in one basket. We should get Mars
Hmm.
going so we have another world in case something happens here.
It
Like it's
just makes me
sick.
think of that. Yeah, you ain't lying. Wherefore will ye plead with me? Ye all have transgressed against me, saith the Lord. See right there, that's the climbing up right there.
Yep.
That right there. In
Our
vain
sins
have
have
I,
reached up to heaven.
yep, in vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword hath devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee.
Like
Yeah, that's
space.
that's what it sounds like, man. I'm telling you. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that's what it sounds like to me too.
It's crazy. There's so much like Jeremiah, Psalms, and Isaiah.
That second book of Revelation, that was good.
It is, yeah.
That was good. I'm
I'm
glad
still
you brought
digging.
that
I'm
up.
I'm I'm gonna find more books.
Yeah, keep going. I like
I'm
it. When
looking.
you send me links, I'm like overwhelmed by you. You spend a lot of time reading, that's for sure, or whatever, audiobooking or whatever.
I'm looking for those all those Esdra books. I know I'm not gonna find them all, but there's gotta be
You
more of
might
Esdra.
like. I mean, I don't think they're gonna disappear. God, like, that was a supernatural thing that happened with Ezra.
For real. Yeah, I didn't even know that until you said that last week. I actually read that again or listened to it
Yeah,
again,
it's
and I
pretty
caught it. I
wild.
was like, wow,
It's
that's
wild.
crazy. He didn't eat no bread. He just kept talking, didn't he?
Yeah, and I was like, well, who's writing when he's talking at night?
He's using Alexa.
Yeah, he's using Alexa or the text to speech on your phone.
There you go. Oh, I that last night, man, on that video, um, David and John, when they were talking about, I thought we did some good conversation in that chat, man. I really thought some
Yeah,
people
that
might
was
have caught
great.
some stuff there. Yeah.
There's a bunch of
No,
people that commented about the stuff we were saying.
and everybody was pretty much respectful.
Well, they
Like
were
I
talking
thought,
about it too. They were talking about the dragon the whole time, like the
yeah, yeah.
um. So I felt like, yeah, there's one flying around right now, guys.
That's why I brung you in there. I was like, come on, get Joe in here.
Yeah, I'm glad you sent me that. I was actually on a
For
motorcycle
sure.
ride, and I got back, and then I turned on Midnight Ride. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I caught it. I caught the notification. I think it was the night before last. I seen it on there. That's why I sent it to you. But
Giants
there was
beyond
something.
the ice wall.
There was something. That I wanted to say about the one world language. Remember that where they were talking about that?
Google Translate.
And I just said, think about all the space agencies and how they all,
Oh
if
yeah, I saw the. Yeah,
the whole
that made
world
a
could
lot
be
of sense.
the whole world can be at war with each other right now, like
But we're
land
all
wise.
buddies up in space.
Exactly.
That's really
Exactly.
weird. And you know what? When you said that, you know what it made me think of is like, because I think that the space station is like the beast coming up from the bottomless pit, like up the beast that comes up from the sea.
For sure. Yep.
And when
I'm
you
with you
said
there.
that, I was thinking about, I just lost it.
And you was
About
just talking about that last week, man, about the truthers thinking about the land beyond the walls.
yeah. Well, you know what? I gotta check my email because I always
That's
forget. But
crazy.
I emailed David Weiss, and I asked him that I thought it would be a good conversation to have about hidden lands or outer lands because he's always mentioning that, saying
Yeah.
we don't know if there's land beyond Antarctica or something. And I have to agree with you. I don't think I think God created the sun and the moon, and He created what they would call maybe our Earth pond or something if they were using that kind of language.
Right.
I don't think there are other ones exist. So I don't think there's
No,
any land
I don't think
beyond.
so.
But
Not physical
but
land.
there's like in Ezra's second Ezra's 13 where it mentions a place called Arzareth, and
Yeah.
it's I think in the north, like at the north somewhere. I don't know.
Right.
But the Euphrates River, God stops the flow of the river so they can get through.
The kings. Yep.
No, those tribes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I was gonna
So
talk to you
so
about
I
that.
didn't like when the Euphrates River drying up. I think that might not be the Euphrates River that we call the Euphrates River. It might be something
No,
celestial,
I think it's the one running into the wilderness up there.
something
Yep.
like
It sound.
the
I'm telling you,
water.
man.
Or what is
It
it?
sounds
The
like
deep.
Moses. I ain't gonna lie. There's some stuff I read about Moses in the wilderness and them people, and I'm like, was that happening up there?
I
I'm
wonder.
just throwing. I'm just throwing
Well,
that out there. I don't know, but I mean, it sounds like
we
it.
have been kind of taught that our generation is just so advanced, and
Top
I get
notch.
it.
Yeah.
I get it, and you'd think that there'd be people say, oh, there'd be like right now if the world just like stopped having people on it and everything got buried or something,
Evidence. Yeah.
we'd find cars, we'd find you know what I mean? We'd find a bunch of technology, but maybe they had a different altogether different kind of technology, like how they do like some of the big stonework that's done that's like how would anyone do that? Like some of that stuff.
I know. I know. In the Lost Book of John, just throwing this out there. That book. I don't know. I like that book, but I'm not saying it's true or not. I don't know. But it does say that Noah and his family were there. They were placed in a vessel and they were put in a cloud and they went up to escape the flood. That's what it says. I
And
don't
that, you
know
know what? And like, I
how true
wouldn't
that is.
like to make a wooden boat, or like we were reading in that fragment of
Enoch.
Noah. There,
Yep.
it said a wooden house. So,
It's crazy.
like it said house, and I will put my hand on it and preserve it. So it's like, well, where it said the angels, I have
Yeah, it says
commanded the
it
angels.
says a wooding building. Yeah, you're
Wooden
right.
building, yeah. So what I'm saying is that could be the ark, or it could have been in the waters, and I think it, whatever the case was, it was probably set down. Whether it was it like, yeah, it could have been lifted up right into the clouds, as far as to so it wouldn't be fighting all the waves, and so I don't know. It was a supernatural event. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
Like, how would it be
you
lifted
got
up there? Who's gonna lift it up? Well,
you got angels helping them build it.
exactly.
So I mean, from that point, it's
They
like,
might
oh,
just take it
anything.
right up to heaven. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't know.
anything to fly then.
But we know that the earth was covered with water.
What's what's lifting up those pillars there in Testament of Solomon, Joe?
Demons that you can't see.
There you
It's
go.
the demons of the wind. Uh,
There you go.
Epiphus or something,
Yep.
and Orneus, to be specific. The
Crazy
demon
times,
from
man.
Arabia, his name is Epiphus.
Yep.
Him and the demon from the Red Sea. I can't remember his name. I think he was just called the demon from the Red Sea. Um, but those two together, they were lifting those pillars up, and Solomon commanded them to not let them down. And when they let them down, it would be the end of the world.
Yep.
Great pillars
I like
flying through the air.
I like what Sean said last night about the prophets. He's like, the world thinks these people were dumb idiots and they just whatever, they weren't
They knew
smart.
more than anybody.
Oh yeah.
They knew more physics and math and everything,
Yep.
but without the technical garbage that's pointless. They knew
Yep.
everything about everything. That's what the prophets knew.
For sure.
And and what I mean, look at what happens in our world today when you tell someone the truth. They reject it sometimes, like they have a horrible reaction to it, and that's what happened to all the prophets too. So
Right. Yep.
yeah, the
Put to death.
prophets before you or whatever. Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
much put to death. I hear Ezekiel was dragged through the rocks. Is
ouch.
what I heard. Yeah. John got decapitated, didn't he? Something like that.
Well, John the Baptist did.
John the Baptist. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to John the Apostle.
There's a lot more in that. They say you were talking about that, the 70 missing verses. There's a
Oh,
lot
from
more in there
yeah,
too. Yeah.
Second Esdras.
There's a,
Yeah, there's
there's
a
a
lot
lot
of
more
missing stuff.
for sure. There's nine chapters missing out of the end of Psalms, apparently.
Is there really?
Yeah. You can PDF those. They're online. They're
And
not.
then and then
It's pretty much the same.
Wes Blaze just mentioned some verses that were or chapters or something that were missing from the book of Daniel, and he was reading that stuff.
Yeah, there's Baal and the dragon missing
Yeah,
out
but
of
that's
Daniel.
not. That was a different one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he was saying like a meteor, like in the visions or something, it said.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, it sounds like a rocket. You know what I mean?
You still talk to him?
Wes Blaze?
Yeah.
Back and forth, just like on YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I think
Next time you're talking to him, ask him if you can get those where those are at.
Yeah,
For
well,
sure.
I think I could probably go to his video and figure it out, because he did say where they were, or where they got them from.
Yeah, I would
So
totally
I'll
want
just
those.
yeah, I just have to look into it, because
Well,
that was
get to work.
that was kind of mind blowing. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I remember the other day you sent it to me and I was watching it and I was reading where it was coming from. I was like, "Where's that book at? That don't sound. Never
Yeah,
heard that one before."
and no one, those guys aren't going to read it on their channel unless it's something worth looking at, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I love
So
Sean, man. We see things differently, but
I think that's with
yeah,
anybody. I think that's with
that's
anybody.
right.
You just gotta be
That's right.
like pumped that those guys are doing what they're doing.
Yep. They
You know what I
say
mean? Like
it,
they're
it,
doing
it,
awesome stuff.
it gave me a shock face. I put it on there a couple times, Jess, and then he mentioned my comment. He never reads my comments because I put, well, wasn't he prophesied to be crucified in the Old Testament? And he's seen it and he's read it out. And he's like, yeah, well, this and that. And I was like, well, I don't know. I feel like he was slain before the foundation. Like it was
Well,
already
it was written, it was
predestined.
declared or whatever.
Yeah. Didn't Jesus
Yeah,
know? Didn't Jesus know and feel like he was fixing to be? He's like, all right, now's the time. They're fixing to come and get me. Like,
dude, we gotta like look. I know I've been on this lately. The first book of Adam and Eve, dude. We got to go through some of that.
I need to. You know, what I'm gonna do this week, Joe's. I'm gonna listen to that.
I got to
That's
tell
I,
you that
I keep putting it
Jesus is
off.
in there making
Yeah.
prophecy of so many things, and it just made me look at. I mean, a long time ago, that made me understand that when the word of God or the word of the Lord came to these prophets, it was Him.
Right.
I didn't get that before. Like
Now
it was Him.
you're just looking into the first one. What do you think about the second one or third one? I mean, there's
I
what is
think
there
I
four of
listened
them?
to the second one, but I didn't make it all the way through. There's just so much in the first one too. It's a huge book, or it's like,
It's like 4 hours, ain't it, on YouTube?
yeah. But there's
Three something.
probably like the beginning of it is like seems really important. Um,
I'm
and the
gonna start
ones I'm
listening
talking
to it.
about is like the prophecy of the coming of Jesus Christ, like the way that Jesus comes and talks to Adam
Right.
many times, and then it says, and God withdrew His word from Adam, like then he went away or whatever. It's
Right.
like a representative for God.
Sounds like what happened to this world in the last 70 years.
Well, and it was written down. I mean, it was, I don't know what the right word is, but it was from the
Foretold.
beginning, from the
Yeah.
foundation of the world. God knew where
Oh
where
yeah.
everything would go. He knew what
Yep.
Adam would do, so He knew that He was going to go shed His blood at Golgotha.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
that's
He
what I
told
was.
Adam about that. He's like, on that day, I'll bring you into my garden.
Right.
So it just made me understand so much of this in a different way, I guess.
Maybe I took it wrong how they said it last night in the I tried to go back to that video and read what they were saying, but it just sounded like no, he didn't. He didn't lay down his life, or he didn't get crucified. They murdered him. And I'm like, what? I don't know about that. That's all I. That was it. That was all I kind of caught my eye. I was like, that's why I put that shock face. Like
Flat
what?
Sabbath says, how old was Adam and Eve, Joe? When they were born? I'm just kidding. Did Adam have a
Babies.
belly button? No, I didn't Adam live to be like almost 1,000? Or was
Uh,
I think he lived a lot of years.
who's the oldest in the Bible? Wasn't it Job or something?
Methuselah? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, you might be
Let's
right,
Google it.
Methuselah.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, like Google's gonna tell the answer.
Well, they'll know who the oldest in the Bible is.
Oh, I'm sure they will, Joe, won't they?
Methuselah. According to the
Is it
Bible,
Stephen?
Methuselah died the year of the flood. But the Bible
He
does not
was.
record whether he died during or prior to the flood. He was the oldest among
I
all
wonder if he's got
humans.
any books.
969. So
Nah,
I'll
that's what I
ask
was gonna
about Adam
say.
though. I'll ask Google about Adam.
I wonder if Methuselah has any books, any writings. I never
I don't
even thought
know.
about that. I should look that up. Man, I'm telling you, I have a
What?
fascination. I
Dude,
have a
this is
fascination for
insane.
finding old books. These lost books. That's like
So look it on Google. Let me get you on my. This is just
what's
funny. Let me hide the comment just so you can see. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I wrote, how old was Adam and Eve? They use these variations to create, like, this is Nature Journal or something. Genetic
I hear
Adam and
it.
Eve did not live too far apart in time. Oh, man.
They just make stuff up. Yeah,
Let's go to Wikipedia.
you'll never know that answer. Not in the flesh, for sure. Not unless you go meet Adam and Eve and hey, how old are
Well,
y'all?
Adam was alive. I think Adam was alive even when Noah was alive.
I think so. Yep.
He was like
I
great
think
great
so.
great grandfather or something, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Sorry,
That must
Flat
have been.
Sabbath. I don't know. I should have just said I don't know.
There must have been a better world back then than one to live that long. Whew. Could
Well,
you
we could
imagine?
figure it out if we went to Genesis. We could
Could
probably
you
figure it out.
imagine 100 years in this time right now? Boy, that suck. I don't even want to live 100. No.
Tony says, just ask the AI. They'll make up one for you with a
That's
whole
right.
backstory and everything.
They got. If you Google how old Tony is, it just says like 80 something. I don't think he's that old.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
I
a
think
joke.
Adam was. I think Adam lived. I don't know, like 800 or 900 or
I
something.
think you're right about Methuselah was like 9 something. That's. I think I heard that.
969. It said.
Yeah.
That's what Google
Enoch.
told me.
Enoch was like what 365? Ain't that where they get the?
Oh, okay. I was mistaken. Franklin is saying no. Adam did not know Noah.
I don't know. I
Or
don't
wait,
really get into genealogy.
Noah was after Enoch. So maybe I'm thinking of Enoch. Was Enoch alive at the
With
end of Adam's life?
Noah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Adam and
Um,
Enoch. Yeah. Enoch
I
was
don't
the
even remember why
grandfather.
I'm thinking that. Like somewhere probably in Genesis or something.
I think I heard that. I think you're right.
I just remember it saying towards the end of Adam's life or something like that. But
Well, you want to know who lived the oldest?
Jesus. No, I don't know
Jesus
what.
Christ. That's right.
Yeah.
He's still alive, baby.
Yep. You can't die
Don't get.
when
Don't. That's
you're.
right. Don't get no older than that.
Think about
He's old.
that.
Hey, Jesus is literally older than dirt because he created the dirt.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that
Love it.
I like to think about
I hear you.
lately. Just when I think about
Right.
him, and I mean the question is like it's a good question, or it's a valid thought for people to have, to be like, I'm one person in, like, you know like as many as the sand of the sea. I'm one piece of sand. How can God like zero out me and act? How can I act as if I'm something special to God? And like, remove time from your scenario and think
Right.
about it then. God doesn't
I
have a
say something.
schedule. He doesn't have. He's
I
not
can say something about that.
limited by one thought per second like we are. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, I'm on YouTube sometimes. I'm talking and all of a sudden my mind goes blank. I'm like, I don't even remember what I was just talking
I
about.
don't. I don't think God zeroed in on you. I don't think it works that way. I think people zero in on God.
But he draws. The Father draws people,
I hear you,
and
but
well, that's just
they
what
got to be
Jesus was
willing.
said.
They got to be willing to
They got to
seek Him out.
listen for his
Yeah.
voice, and
Yeah.
if they can hear him, and they open the door, like, you know.
That's what I took out of that whole conversation Friday with that lady when she said that like that. I was
Franklin
disappointed.
says Enoch would know Adam, and I'm guessing like Enoch would have probably been, on the younger end of things, and Adam was like at the end of his life. I'm guessing. I think it says something about that, maybe in the Bible, but maybe
I
in
think
the
it
Book of
does.
Enoch. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, thank you guys for the chatting in the chat.
for
Thomas,
sure.
we gotta cut it off. I got some stuff I gotta
Franklin's
take
always
care
in
of.
there. I hear you, man.
Yeah, thanks,
No problem.
Franklin, for your comments.
For sure. But
Adam did not see the giants, he said. Good for Adam. I wouldn't want to see him either.
right.
What were you gonna say?
Maybe we're seeing the giants right now in a way. That starship's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, that is in a way. I mean, it's like there are
I hear you.
evil things happening right under our noses, and it's on the news, and
Oh
people
yeah.
cheer it on.
I say it every time on Facebook Live. I say that right there every time. I said
Yeah.
that Be careful what you're cheering on and rooting on and supporting right now. I'm telling you, get out of that.
Yes, very
That's your
important.
own choice. But
I
mm,
mean, and it's things that you might think don't even matter.
right.
Like that's the kind of scary part too. They can go right past you, and you might not even think anything is different.
Thank God for the spirit of truth, or we'd probably all still be consumed in it.
Jesus said to his disciples, I don't remember the context, but what the way he said it was, "Be careful how you hear."
There you go. Yeah,
And when he's just that concept of like when you know middle of the day, whatever, someone says something to you, at the end of the day, you might not even remember the conversation really.
right.
But if you are careful, I'm not saying it changes anything, but you'd remember it at the end of the day what the conversation was if you were careful how you're hearing the other person.
For
Do you know
sure.
what I mean? I
I
think it's just
remember having
important.
I remember having conversations with people back when I first started seeing truth in 2015. I still remember the conversations.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah, you don't forget stuff like that.
it's like burned into your mind like
I was
a video almost.
I was hoping for that lady I spoke to on Friday at Michelin. I was hoping when I got walked out of there, I said that to myself. I was like, I hope she looks into that. I hope that was worth something that helps her. That's it. That's all I could do.
Sometimes that's I'm guessing that that's the tool that
It's like planting a seed,
God
right?
uses us as like tools that way.
Yeah,
We do things for him that we might not even know if they work out or if he whatever, but I know
true that.
that he does that.
Well, thanks for letting me come on, Joe.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
enjoyed
chatting once again,
I enjoyed
and
it, bro.
thank
Yep.
you guys all for hanging out. And yeah, this is interesting stuff we're learning.
We should put a little time into that what was that called? The figure I keep messing that word up. Ah,
Transfiguration or whatever.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yep. Look into that. Maybe over the week, just
I
kind
want
of.
to understand it
I know
more
it's in
better because
Matthew.
something happened there. You know.
Yeah, it's in I think 3 or 4 of the Gospels.
Yeah, it's in there. I'm just
I think
like when I think about it, I'm going, what was that? I mean, obviously, I mean, even God spoke out of heaven. So, yeah, let's look into that next week, maybe,
for sure.
or during the week.
Yep. Much love, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good time, and we'll see you next time.
See you.